Yo, yo, yo. Hey, this is for my kinfolk. 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 First of all, I wanna thank the guy above that teaching me was right and showing me much love. Thanking all the people that pushing me ahead. Now I know in due time be breaking off bread. Living life and life turns gotta do. Cause things in the past might come back and hunt you. The way you started out, the way you fought about. Avoided all the haters cause you took a different route. You suffered from the loss, you ate from the pain. With all the death you kept a step and yet you still remain. So let's smoke, sit back and do a toast. Not my family but you know to me it's King Flow. Yo, this is for my kinfolk. This is for my kinfolk. This is for my kinfolk. This is for my kinfolk.
What's going on? What's going on, my people? How y'all feeling out there today? Blessed, I hope. You know what I'm saying? Let me start the show off by thanking my higher power, who I wish to call my God. You know what I'm saying? And we might got a few people coming on today. You know what I'm saying? A few of my brothers that's gonna give it to us in a real way. You know what I'm saying? But first, let me go over these. I'm gonna go with some birthdays, man. No. See what's the birthday lick all about. See, I got 3 people on my birthday list. Okay, I got Brianna. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday to you, Queen. Le Coptron, Duke Marriott. Happy birthday to you, my brother. Mary Crawford. Happy birthday, Queen. And we got Keith Crawford. What's going on? Let me get my buddy online with me. Got a couple of buddies. Gotta send some shots out too. Oh yeah, if you're listening, Mutaz, I had got that email from you too. You know, I would have preferred you to put it up. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I might have to put it on the board. That's if it ain't over with. But I got you. I got you. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out a topic for the day. I'm seeing my guy on. He hit me this morning. If he online, let me see if I can bring him on. He did have a topic for us today. Okay. I don't send that off, so okay. I just want to let everybody know, you know, I am on the stage, but I'm just behind the curtain. You know, I can come on at any time. If somebody got a topic for today, you know what I'm saying, feel free to put it out there. You feel me? And we'll get into a conversation about it. But you know, mostly when I come on here, it's all about self-preservation, you know. I'm always trying to uplift each other and be good to self, do the righteous thing that we're supposed to do, and go after the things that we, you know what I'm saying. Oh, I got my buddy on, you know what I'm saying. Let me bring you. I got both of my buddies on. Yo, what's up, Chuck? I got my other buddy on too.
What's up, big brother?
I'm all right. Hero, what's to it? What's to it? What's going on?
Okay, test. So we good? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
You know, I just can't see your picture, man.
No, that's only me. Right.
Hey, I told you, Chuck, you can always press your on your phone, your camera if you want to put your if you don't want your face to be on there. Remember, I was telling you that.
Yeah, hell no, I'm gonna talk to my brother face to face, brother.
Hey,
There you go.
there you go, man. I got honored the request, bro.
I hear you. I
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you. But it really ain't even about that with me. You know
I
what I'm
know.
saying? 'Cause
I don't. It don't make a difference with me. But it's all we good. How
Shit.
everybody doing? How
I,
everybody doing?
no, I just want to explain something to my brother and shit like that, cause I had
I ain't gonna
stopped
stay
putting
on
my
long.
face on here too. You know what I'm saying? Because
Leg, I'm here.
Yeah.
because you feel me? I didn't want the people to pay attention to what was around me. I want them to pay attention to what I'm saying. You feel me? If it ain't no picture of none of them that they can look at it, take them off of what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? They have my full, you know what I'm saying? I had their full attention and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I was like, you know, they do make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, check it
You
out.
know, people usually pay attention
Pun,
about
pun.
what they see, and they look behind you, look around, you see what you're doing, and all that type of stuff, and never get what you're trying to say out. You know, words don't want past them
Yeah,
and things in such a way. But I'm
Right,
backstage. I finna
yeah.
come say I'm coming on too. So, you know what I'm
my
saying?
man.
It's all good.
First thing I gotta say to my brother Science and my brother Big Mike, y'all my brothers, man. And I just gotta say hum to Allah and may peace
Appreciate
be upon y'all brothers. You know what I'm saying?
my
Knowledge,
man. My
wisdom,
man.
understanding, arm, leg, arm, head, brother.
Lakers
Okay.
salam, my
Okay. Like Salah.
And that's
Now,
why I started with the foundation.
for sure. For sure. I'm gonna introduce myself. As y'all know, my name's Science. I go by multiple names. Um, but Science Haru. So it's Imhotep Haru Science. That's my spirit name.
Okay.
Um,
Imhotep
my people,
Haru Science.
my aunt Imhotep Haru Science.
Yes, sir.
So and then when I'm outside, most people call me Success Story or
Yes, sir.
Story for short, due to the
Okay.
fact I'm in the street. But as far as my holy name, it was the first one.
Okay.
I do mentorship every once in a while, just to give y'all a little brief. But overall, like I told the brother, what's your name? What's your name again, bro? I don't do.
Well, brother, my real name is Clarence Woods, but everybody
Okay,
refer to me on this false page as Chunk.Kane, you know what I'm saying? But
Chuck
I've been
Dake.
to my
Okay,
brother, I'm
Chuck,
Code Reaper, you know what I'm saying? I'm the cipher. I take in knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and assess that to the right degree.
for sure, for sure. Absolutely, all right. Okay, that's all well. That's all well.
All the time.
Um,
Hey,
Yes.
did you come up with that topic, hero, for the day? Yes, a topic for the day. Is it can it be
I
what?
did. I came up with it yesterday, and I got to recall. So, uh,
What we gonna do, right? We gonna start from here. The
okay,
inner self within our
okay.
inner self.
I
You
think it
feel
was
me?
more so. Okay, so it's about inner self. That's what you want to start from.
Straight up, we got to start from that as a culture, as a people, and everything. In order for our life to be in order, we got to start with self-preservation first. You know, we got to get ourselves in order first, in order for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Bam. So we got
Man,
stories,
self
we got
is the
history,
only
we
savior.
got knowledge, and everything. So
Yeah.
anybody
So,
y'all can just go ahead and kick it off. I'm gonna listen because man, I got my pen and paper. I'm ready to listen to you, brothers. I'm ready to write some shit down, you know what I'm saying, and apply it to my life.
absolutely. Anybody? Oh,
Man,
uh,
bro. I think
uh,
where we would start with inner self is knowing knowledge of self, knowing who you are as a black man,
mm-hmm.
knowing your origins, knowing that you were first created out of that will that was alive. Whatever y'all brothers want to refer to it as, you know what I'm saying? That's just what I refer to it as.
Okay,
I believe knowledge itself comes from the universe and comes from knowing what you stand for and who you are and what you represent, the type of lifestyle, the type of reality you represent, which is being a god of the universe.
sure. Okay. Well, much due respect to that. As I was sharing with the brother yesterday, I don't know. I don't have a title. It's difficult for me to grasp for something. It's difficult for me to put myself to something because the first thought for me is before I was brought or my ancestors were brought to America, one, what language were we speaking? And two, if I was speaking my language, would I be saying the same things I'm saying right now? I'm a deep thinker. Would I be saying, would I give off the same vibratory vibration that I'm giving off? So as far as for inner self, like I was sharing with the brother yesterday, give me a minute. It's deep, man. It's like, okay, for one, we've been falsified with the Bible. The Bible is a falsification. I call the Bible a second language. The reason I call it a second language and I do not necessarily push it away is because it still possesses the energy that we people, our knowledge of self. It's still by parts of the whole. So therefore, that's why it's still attractive. So I'll be referring to the Bible at times because in my mind I'm saying it's still a language of ours that's in there. That's why it's so attractive. And with the self, so in the beginning it says, this is what I think as a people we should stay focus on, understand. I think it's a better if we understand this, and this is according to the Bible, it will help us know self. So in the Bible it says that God created the heavens and the earth, right? Now,
Willed itself.
huh?
He willed itself through darkness.
Okay, he willed himself through darkness. Right, for sure. Now, and him willing himself through darkness, if he brought himself into existence, when I speak to people, I ask them a question. Where does the thought of negativity or imperfection come from? If God is all good, then how is it possible for all good to produce ungood? It's not possible. It's impossible. So this is me helping. This is me in my way of trying to find. This is me finding a way. How do I get the person to look at themselves, see their higher self as So I'm asking these type of questions. So look at yourself. I need you to look at yourself. So now, if you're a Bible thumper, if you're a person is a Christian, then I'm gonna relate to you. I feel you. So that's the first question. The second thing would be, it's a misunderstanding when it comes to Genesis, because in Genesis it says the Garden of Eden, and we were all taught in the Garden of Eden there was a sexual act that happened. That's why, this is what Adam and Eve supposed to did when to cause the world to be in chaos. What we're not and I ain't gonna say what we're not told, but if once you open up yourself to the Most High, you'll be able to get the most language, you'll be able to understand the language that you spoke, or the way you think, or the way you feel when it comes to Most High, in order to know your instincts a little better. Because instincts is all about instincts and intuition. Intuition for women, instincts for men, just male and the female. Mm-hmm. Now, in the book, he said, we thought as kids, we'd be thinking, oh man, they had sex. What it was, or what the Spirit showed me, was the Garden of Eden is not an actual garden. It's a library. The trees are books. That's why, if you notice in school, they taught us that trees are made of books. The trees are books. The tree of knowledge, knowing good and evil, is actually the dictionary. Because if you think about it, the dictionary confuses the fuck out of people. Because each word is able to identify or define every other word. So it's like confusion. And then you have some words, you can say them the same, but they mean something different. But again, this is the
how
point.
You pronounce it.
You're pronouncing it right. So with that being said, now the tree of life. What I always ask that question. Well, why did Adam eat from the tree of life? Why didn't he take from that? If this is true, again, this is me talking to a Christian. Mm-hmm. Or this is me talking to somebody of another that believes in that way of life. Mm-hmm. I say, why didn't he take from the tree of life? What I was shown was he didn't take from the tree of life because the tree of life was him. He didn't take from himself. He denied everything about himself in order to be look somewhere else. And even then, he didn't even deny himself, because one, I don't like the fact that they tell us that our sisters are the reason for the world being the way it is, because they disobeyed or it wasn't even that. What if we think of it, huh?
It wasn't.
Okay. Just let me know. So I'm listening so that I can. Somebody else want to chime in.
Okay.
I would just say that from looking from my perspective, that everything that you speak of being wrote in books was meant for that individual mind to interpret. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So when we talk about individual minds interpreting things, we talk about the full body, right?
Okay.
As where you might see one thing from one perspective, and I might see something from another perspective, doesn't mean there's no right and there's no wrong. You know,
Absolutely.
evaluating. We're
Mm,
just evaluating what we took in as the knowledge and applying it to ourselves, because each individual self is the only savior. So each individual is going through a different walk in life.
Okay.
mm,
What may have led you to them consequences, or what may have led you to that understanding, whereas I went through something, or to whereas he went through something, might have led us to a different understanding to interpret. So I believe one of the main tricks that they played upon us was to believe that one way is right and one way is wrong. You know what
mm.
I'm saying?
Hey, we
As
talk.
as an individual, you look through the eye, and your perception is your own reality. Meaning that you have the capability to produce your own reality. Everything that you see is your own reality if you have the power to manifest that, right?
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Mm,
So with me saying that is, yes, there has been books of knowledge that was left to us, and it was given to us in a certain way, but we don't have all them books, right? We're missing a great degree of those books. So the best way that I can explain it is, as men and as individuals, we got to put our ego to a side and see that there were certain things that you was meant to see. There was certain things that he was meant to see, and there's certain things that I was meant to see. But there is no right or wrong answer. Like you said, if God is the creator of all, then why is there evil? Well, God being the creator of all, whatever you want to refer to him as, was a man that was dealing in a language that he left to us, which was science and math. And science and math will explain to you that there's a negative and there's a positive in everything that exists in this universe.
Absolutely.
yeah, cause he was
You know,
asking me. He asked me yesterday. What's my religion and things like that. I told him I was practicing Muslim, but I say, but I'm really seeking. I'm seeking
Absolutely.
because it's
yeah,
different. It's different religions. You
absolutely.
got Buddha out here. You got Christians out here. You got Muslims out here. You got Baptists out here. You got people that's praying to, to the devil. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it
Elohim,
reminds me of an
Satan.
organization type thing. I compare it to organizations.
Hmm.
Uh, vice lords, GDs, blacks. I compare it to, that the churches is going, against each other, far as not in a loving way, but like the Jehovah Witness will come to your house and knock on the door and stuff like that, and to tell you that this is the real way. And then you got people from the Christian that tell you, no, that ain't the way, this is the real way, and stuff like that. You got different books like the Quran, like the the Bible. You got the New Testament and the Old Testament. We already know words have been taken out and added in and stuff. And that's why I preserve myself to be seeking, because I'm trying, I see those places trying to find the message and everything too. I can do it by myself. I can do it within self by seeking and seeing what every one of them got to offer. Really they saying the same thing, but in different type of ways. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
right now I'm seeking today. I'm
That's what
seeking
we deal with the
knowledge.
spirit.
Yeah, I get
Right.
my knowledge
Right.
from you guys too. I get knowledge from you guys. You know what I'm saying? Better than reading in the book, because you living beings and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? You a thinker. You got wisdom. We already know right from wrong. So, I really don't even have to, draw a book, that book that's gonna tell me what's gonna happen and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? But today I get to prepare for that by listening to my, my people around me and stuff like that. Cause I know I'm not the only one that think like that. Got
Mm-hmm.
some intelligent people like yourselves, both of
That's
y'all.
it.
Very intelligent, man. Y'all very intelligent guys. And I
Appreciate you.
love
Appreciate you.
y'all. Yeah, man.
Yes,
So
sir.
keep
Yes,
giving
sir,
it to
sir.
me.
Yes,
I
sir.
love it. Keep
We
giving
all
it.
each other's self. We all each other's reflection.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. The one thing I'll do on the show, I make sure that The first off, because I don't want my words, I wouldn't want my words to be, well, I can't determine how you take it or anybody takes it.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes,
back
sir.
in the days, we have to remember, because I often hear people say, your way is your way, my way is my way, there's no right and there's no wrong. That's true. Or there's no wrong with, but that's true. There's a way. There is a way. That's the one thing. But yet, even back then, when we had a system, our own system. We had a system that we utilized and we walked in order to God dog it, see which one would be the next that would rise above that means. So let's say we went through what you call them rituals or trials to elevate.
Right.
And if you notice, it's to a point today, everybody knows. If you notice that, we have people who has a certain wisdom up in already before they even went through something to say that they have that wisdom. Does that make sense?
To a certain degree.
Okay, so I've often been here. When I share with people, one the book, like the brother say, we don't read books. I mean, I don't read books. I mean, I don't read. I'm quit lying. I don't read books. I read a book when I'm led to a book. So I think again, the purpose of inner self and we need to get back to that part of ourselves that operates in a natural state.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
If a lot of times it's more, again, I'm going to use something that's a term from the Bible. A lot of times we hold on. Okay. So a lot of times we utilize something outside of ourselves in order to find something that we want. So for instance, let me give a better example. I had just I often have conversations with myself. I consider myself, that's my me. When I go in the morning, I go to work, whatever case, I have my early morning chat with the higher self, with the universe, God, creator, whatever anybody choose to call it. And then, in that conversation, I'm always asking what I consider the right question. Because again, there's so many wits, religions, spiritualities, there's so many walks of life. I was shown in the past, I was shown before, that those walks of life are just levels that Creator knew that we would fall in states. So he had to make a way for each person that fell at a certain state. So Christianity has a way of understanding Christianity because we're still all under the one, but that's a language for that level, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a language for that level. So your language is your language. Like Muslims have their language. They communicate, they pray, they fast. If you notice, they have a certain thing that they do consistently on certain days at certain times.
Yeah.
The fast, the palms up, face the east.
Yeah.
So does the Christianity. Sunday school. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Everybody has a certain thing. So in our natural state, we had things that we had to go to in order to evolve. But now it's today, and where we at now, it seems as though we are able to evolve by yesterday. And everybody,
to me, my brother.
Huh?
No, finish okay. What you were saying.
We it's like we were made to evolve in just 10 minutes, or we believe we evolve in 10 minutes when it takes years to get to these heights, to this enlightenment, to this wisdom. It really takes going through something, being still, being quiet, because you can't get there overnight. So you're right. You're absolutely right. You say, okay, and y'all gotta forgive me because again, with the names, I'm up here looking for y'all. I'm looking for
the names don't matter. It's the energy, my brother.
Okay. So what I ask, when I talk to people, I share with, how do you get back to self? Like I asked you yesterday, I asked the brother yesterday. Hold on. You got to forgive me with these names, man. Not the names as far as the people.
Okay. That's taking time. But usually as you go fluid and stuff like that, one that's gonna understand what you're saying.
No. That's not okay. Okay, that's not what I. That's not. I'm finna show you. I'm finna show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Hold on 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. No. Mike.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
But overall, that's the goal, man. It's getting them to look back with themselves. Like I was asking Mike yesterday, I say, when was the last time you listened to your heartbeat?
Yeah.
How often do we take the time out to listen to our heartbeat, to like really listen to the tunes that's happening within ourselves? This is the book. This is the key book. There is no other book. There is no other way. The only thing about it, we're so okay. The only thing about it is we're so challenged, and it's hard to say, you know what, I am the one responsible for me.
Damn, Joe, that's heavy, Joe.
I'm the one. I am, and it's hard to say that because we don't. Some of us don't want to accept that truth. But overall, I'm the book, and I'm okay with that. And then you start reading your book. You see what I'm saying? And when you start reading your book, hold on.
Hey,
shucks.
but you know, to every book is a cover, right? And to every movie, they have a coming attraction to show you how the movie look and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I kind of like see where you coming from with we are the book, cause I look at y'all as my book, and I look at the outside cover. You know what I'm saying? Your book is your heart, man. You know what I'm saying? And you already know how a person act from the outside. You know the cover and stuff like that. What type of book you finna read? And that's why I say I like listening to you, brothers. I don't read that much. A lot of brothers don't. You know, a lot of black people don't read today. We ain't doing
right. Absolutely, they don't.
We probably mess with a few numbers and stuff like that, but we don't do nothing like that. We stick with the same words that we say every day, never changing a word in the hood. But when I get you guys on, you know, y'all like a book. Like you just said, your heart, I could tell, you know what I'm saying? This is a book that I want to read. That's why I listen to y'all. That's why I love listening to y'all. Cause I'm judging from the outside cover of the book too, of the way y'all carry yourself, the things that y'all say. And all that type of things, but go ahead on. I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
No, or just to say to elaborate for my brother. Let me, correct myself because I'm a little slurred from doing the things that I've been doing. But I would say this. We could read all the books and soak in all the knowledge that we want, but when we were born with a certain type of energy. As gods, we have a certain type of energy to build and destroy. And when I say that, I mean that in this universe is made up of certain energies that cannot be disputed, right? So when I say that, I put forth to you your choice. So I say that you can have the ability to either be a more righteous man or a more wicked man.
Get the
you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I believe that we were all naturally born with this ability. Like once you're a child and you're born into the earth, you're a pure person. Like you don't learn wickedness until you've lived for a while, right? So I believe after learning that wickedness, you have the ability to choose where you stand at as a God in this world, meaning you create your own reality, meaning that you can either be a person that does more wickedness to gain his successfulness, or you could be a person that does more righteousness to gain his successfulness. We can quote all the scriptures and we can go to the Quran, the Bible, the Torah, whatever you may like to refer to. But at the end of the day, the spirit is what truly matters to me. The energy that you put out into the universe is the energy that you'll get back from it.
Okay.
And that's fact.
That's love, though. Straight up. You ain't never lied. And that's what I've been saying to them people. It's what you put out. That's why I tell people to be loyal to yourself, man. You know you ain't gonna get yourself hurt. You've been burned before by fire. You probably been cut before. You don't fail, and you guaranteed yourself that you'll never do it again because that shit hurt and take a long time to heal. So why we can't, you know what I'm saying, heal ourselves as in not doing wrong things and start taking care of our family. You know what I'm saying? Doing it I see you made that transition, man. And yeah, you deserve your flowers every time I talk to you. From where you come from what we come from goddamn it, Malcolm X College and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? You came a long way and you doing well. And I'm proud of you, man. You know what I'm saying? You deserve your
Well,
flowers.
thank you, brother. Once again, my brother, I feel the same way about you. I just feel like I like you just reiterated on, right? When we first came, we did certain things and we thought certain things was successfulness, but we was unaware of the negative and the positive of the things that we did, right? So we lacked the education to truly understand that, right?
Yeah.
But once we grasp hold of the ability to truly understand what we was doing as far as dealing with our energy, we understood that certain things that we were doing were beneath us because it would cause a negative energy that would not just travel through myself, which self is the only savior, but it will travel to you too as well. Like if I'm a negative person and you're a positive person and you're around me, my negativity could still affect you. Just like your positivity could still affect me. You know what I'm saying? So when I evaluate that type of relationship between us as beings, because every being on this planet has the ability to do negative and positive.
Yeah.
I understand that as a guy with consciousness, my goal is to try to be more positive. But at the same time, I understand that there's a time and there's a place for everything. There's a time for negativity, like there's a time to be positive. Meaning that if you're my brother and we're sharing nothing but positive energy with each other, then that's nothing but positive. But if somebody threatened my family or to cause me harm and take away all of the positivity that I put out in the universe, why trying to conduct it or how can I say infiltrate it with negativeness, then I have the right to be negative to a certain extent, but that negativity will still equal positiveness. You know what I'm saying? There's a time and a place for everything, brother. Like we could be distinguished gentlemen and we could talk, loving to each other and all, but if somebody is threatening you with wickedness, then by all rights, you have the right by the sword of justice to cut off that person's head. And you can say that's a negative thing or you can say that's a positive thing. I believe that the act is what counts. The intent is what counts. So with your soul, and when you act on certain things, the energy that you put out into the universe is what really counts on that. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a chance that you could walk away from that situation without causing no harm, more power to you. But if there's a chance where you have no choice but to cause absolute harm to provide for you and your family and to keep the wickedness away from you and your family, then by all means, I believe the sword of justice will tip in your favor.
Straight up, man. Your ass looks still the same, man. You ain't aged a bit, boy. Since we was in Malcolm X College, your ass ain't aged, boy. Straight up, Jude.
Man, God. Thank you, brother. I try not to, brother. I mean, that's just by practices and certain principles. You know what I'm saying? I don't swine. I try to lift my chakra when I can lift my chakra. I try to do my ohms and all of that to lift my level of vibration. Yeah, I drink and I smoke, you know that, but I've slowed even down on that through understanding that the true level I'm supposed to reach is a level of consciousness, and a conscious level has nothing that will affect his consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. You very
it's not what you do, it's how you do it,
It's how you do it.
Yes, sir.
You work hard every day. And you get them people them hours every day. You might do what you do, but man, how do I get it on my lap? What do you say? How do I get it on my laptop? I'll send you another request and you just go to your messenger hero.
For sure. So that's why, you know what I'm saying. As much as I would like to one of the tricks the devil's played on us, as much as I would like to have these conversations with brothers that's like-minded like myself, and like I told you, brothers, there is no right, there is no wrong. Your perception from your eyes and your perception from your reality is completely different from mine. That's something that each individual has to understand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
we might have different perceptions of reality, but at the end of the day, you are me and I'm you. We're the same. We're self. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So I don't, to dig a little bit deeper, I look past all of the religion and the scriptures that we study in that, and I'll say that your nature plays a big part in the individual that you will become, because no matter what scripture you study, and this is facts, you can study whatever books you want to study, but you know the difference between righteousness and wickedness. You know when you're doing
Yeah.
wickedness. You
Yeah.
know when you're doing righteousness. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's where I think we gotta evolve as a people. We gotta understand that there's a time and there's a place to apply the right circumstances, and if applied rightly, then even when you do something that most people would consider an act of wickedness, like I said, protecting my family, you come try to hurt my family, then I have a right to kill you.
Yeah.
Especially if we want to call it, problems. Now,
Yeah.
most would say that's a wicked act, but it wasn't really a wicked act. It was just wicked energy used to create righteousness.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they say they would need to connect their microphone cam before you can add them. You got to connect your cam and stuff. Go in settings and connect your cam and your on your laptop, and then it lets you come in
Yes,
science. Straight up, man. You very not, man. I'm too proud of you, man. I am too proud of you for real, Joe.
thank you, Chef. Me the same as you. Your reflection is mine, and I'm your reflection. I think that's a big problem with our society today, that we see ourselves as individuals when we should be seeing ourselves as one. If we saw ourselves as one, then maybe we could evolve. But through all the greedy shit and the shit that's used to manipulate our thinking, we see ourselves as individuals. I'm different from you. When scientifically speaking, genetically speaking, we're all the same. You got melanin in your skin, you're the same as me. It's only one man on this planet that don't have melanin in his skin, and we know his story. You know?
Man, we can't even really. And I was thinking about what how people be like, I come from a dysfunctional family, and some people blame their parents and stuff like that. And now that I look back at it, you know what I'm saying, I used to feel that way and things like that. From the way that people be turning out, the way I turned out, didn't have this, other kids had it, and woo up the bam. But back in those days, you know what I'm saying, our parents was being brainwashed, like you said, and stuff. Because I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you, like, if our parents raised us, why they didn't raise us right away from that stuff and things like that? So I had to think about the parents. They was going through it at the
Yes,
time
sir.
too. So we can't really blame them,
Yes,
right?
sir. No, no, we cannot, sir, because like you just said, you thought that you had things that you were supposed to, but you didn't. But when you dig deeper, those things that you thought that you were supposed to have and that you
Uh-huh.
didn't was all materialistic things that really meant nothing. This was a way of thinking that was put upon us as a people to think a certain type of way and think that certain things made us successful. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
Hey,
the only things that you were supposed to have was knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of self.
right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? And
right.
if you had that, not no TV, not no nice car, not no nice clothes, not no, all of the materialistic things that we like to refer to, the things that makes us a better person, it doesn't. The only thing that makes you a better person is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of yourself, how to manipulate this universe to your being. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and that goes both ways. That goes in the righteousness and the wickedness. The reason why they went in the wickedness is because they gave all of us these things in front of us that was materialistic things that meant nothing to our well-being, and we fell for it. Even our parents fell for it. My forefathers fell for it. Your forefathers fell for it. So when
Yeah.
we was born into the world, we was being taught certain principles that was beneath us, when that shouldn't have even been a principle at all. The only thing you need to know how to survive on this planet is how to manipulate it to your well-being. Meaning, if you need to hunt, you need to know how to hunt. If you need to provide shelter for yourself, you need to know masonry, which is how the masons control so much that they control today. And if you wanted to be a true god of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you need to know mathematics and science, which will give you the ability to manipulate the universe to your well-being.
Yeah. And that's what I
You
was
know
saying.
what I'm saying?
I was like, man, we focus on a day-to-day basis and shit. We just here. We like furniture and shit. Cause the same, you go in the hood, man, you hear the same shit, the same dialogue, nothing new. But you go outside the hood, you hear something different. You know what I'm saying? If it's coming from a different nationality or something like that, you know, we keeping ourselves secluded in this little box, man, and ain't no education flowing around there. Our kids don't think about reading and shit like that. They only read got them in signs that on McDonald's signs and shit like that. And that's the far as it go, man. As far as a book, picking up a book, reading about some or something. No, we ain't, man. Our kids ain't even doing that, man. And they getting that street life. You know what I'm saying? They adapted to the street life. And as you get old, yeah. Go ahead though.
No, not to cut you off, brother, but I've said one of the key elements to what you was just speaking on was they took away our ability to imagine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you can imagine something, and you can imagine something out of nothing, then that's your brain processing the ability to create its own reality. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't imagine, then you've lost the ability to see a different way of life, basically. And they took away that different way of life, like you said, through the computers, through the games, through the music, through the vibrations that they put out into the universe, which is why our kids can't be like us. We used to go outside and whatever you pretended to be that day was what you was. You can say pretending, but if you thought that really in your mind, you was that at that point in time, you know? So
Okay, I see.
I just gotta say that imagination is a key ingredient for us to create our own reality. The reason why we face a lot of issues that we face is because we're living in a false reality that was created for us. But if you lived in your own reality, then it would be more easier for you to be a more righteous man, and it would be more easier for you to present the positive more than the negative. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's a product of their environment.
You right. You're exactly right, my brother.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Chuck. I mean, you hear it's crazy. It's crazy. I got a web page, right? And it was created for youth, a youth program that I'm gonna do for 15 youth. I mean, only 10 youth. I mean, 10 males.
Okay.
And it's tripped out because when I get back on here, I was also listening on my laptop while I'm trying to get back on one of my phone, so I still can see where you all are at with the conversation. So, and I hear Chuck say the ability to visualize, right?
Yes, sir.
And what's crazy is all my work, everything I've created is on that topic, visualization.
Yes, sir.
Everything is on that topic. In the website, in on the site, majority of what I teach, I want to teach you how to visualize again, see again.
Yes,
So
sir.
I have a thing where it's called idea. So faith in the book they talk about faith is as small as a mustard seed in that Bible, and it's also faith. Faith, if you really pay attention to the saying of the word, it's a faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So instead of saying it fast, say it slow and think about the words that's being used. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So a substance, it could either be tangible or not tangible. As the substance of things hoped for, an idea, something that you think about, hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. So it's telling you it's an evidence of things not seen. What is just like that? This is a riddle. What is it?
I would just think that to myself, and this is just me speaking on my own circumstances, I would say that if you had the ability to manifest something, which means that you can manifest a thought, and then knowing the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of to put the right things in place to manifest that thought, then you are capable of it. For example, I could tell y'all brothers right now, I want an apple tree, right? But to grow an apple tree, I need a soil that has the nutrients in it to grow that, right? Now, I'm not no psychic, but I can honestly say that if I had the ability to collect the variables that I need to manifest my thought into reality, then I can complete that. Meaning it's saying that I could go out right now and buy, you know, like a plant with soil and put the nutrients in it and plant the apples in it and grow an apple tree in Arizona, because I know the ability of that. I know how to manifest that. I know that it needs water. I know that it needs soil with nutrients in it. I know that it needs worms in it to you know, break up that nutrient and spread it around so that it would grow. So with that being said, I can honestly say that I could predict the future if I take the right steps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, go on. My bad.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see exactly what you're saying. That's why I changed my faith. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to have it's hard for me to have faith in people and things. I have faith in my higher power, and that's about it. It causes my higher power works to me, cause me to have faith in myself as well. But
we should have faith in ourselves
or somebody else.
Our ability.
Man, I'm here to let you know, faith will let you down, and that's what a person got to think of it. They just think of it in a good way, but faith lets you down sometimes. You know, that person don't always come pick you up to go to work. You know, so don't keep faith in them. That person ain't got the money to give you, so don't put your faith all up in thinking that they gonna give it to you, because they might let you down. It might be something else when they come ask for it. They might say they was gonna give it to you, but when you got to them, goddamn it, they didn't have it. But you had the faith that they did, and you just broke yourself from there, because now you don't put yourself in a state of mind of depression or something, and madness and stuff like that. You get mad, like damn, because you really depended on that. You know, it's people out here depend on people. Like if somebody kidnapped me, and the only person I had a way to my my jewelry or whatever, my money and stuff, was Chuck. And I called, and they got me tied up in the room, Joe. You know what I'm saying? And this shit, man, they told me to come up with a meal, man, or they gonna kill me. So, man, I got faith in Chuck. So,
yes,
Chuck,
sir. I'm gonna find you.
They say call at 12 o'clock. Call at 12 o'clock with the merch. He gone. I'm expecting Chuck to call at 11:49. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Not 12 o'clock. We're gonna call before 12 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? That's the faith that got him. But people around you, you know, ain't like that today. You can't have faith in people, man.
I gotta ask a question, man. I'm curious, right?
Yes, sir.
Again, I'm gonna bring this part up because first off, what's the purpose? Okay, when you said we're gonna tighten it ain't about, again, it's not about right or wrong. And everybody has their own opinion and their own approach and their own way of looking at life. Right. This is why we have multiple sects and nobody's still getting what they need. Right. Because everybody's all over the place and everybody got to want to be in this, that, and the other.
Overrated.
Right. So now, when you said inner peace or inner self.
Yes, sir.
When you put that up as a topic, what are we saying? Are we creating an avenue for people to find themselves? I also heard Chuck speaking on being a person of protector, you know, basically protecting your land, your family, yourself.
Man in the mirror. Man in the mirror. Man in the mirror.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Man in the mirror.
The man in the mirror.
Right. So I don't know what y'all saying, but okay. Now we're automatic warriors.
Yes,
you
sir.
See what I'm saying? We're automatically going.
I wouldn't say that.
No,
I wouldn't say that.
Well, you look in the mirror and what you see?
I see a man. I see me.
Okay. I see a man.
Okay.
I see a righteous man that would choose to be a warrior when that time comes. Like I said, it's got to be applied to the right principle.
That's why I'm asking about them things.
We men before anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got reflexes like above other. You know, we ain't gonna let nobody really get us down or get us in no hole or hurt us. You know what I'm saying? We gonna protect ourselves.
Especially if I mean no harm to you. If I'm a righteous man and you trying to hurt me for no reason, then that's the time to become a warrior. You know what I'm saying? But if my ego plays a part in that equation and you just talking shit, but I see that you're not really a threat to me, then I need to be a conscious man and make the choice to walk away from your ass.
Exactly.
There's a time and a place for everything.
Absolutely. So I'm asking, when I say about the topic, are we is this podcast and this topic on helping people to understand or get in a sense of themselves, or still causing and to their already doubtful selves?
I
But
would,
see,
I would think, I would
it's
think,
a no open podcast, you know what I'm saying? And it's
Okay.
focused on self, it's focused on family, it's focused on our communities, our hood, it's focused on us uplifting each other in such a way. You know, we are different people from you know what I'm saying, different families and things like that. So we got different testimonies,
different
we got
DNA.
different thought processes and everything. We ain't on the site to kill nobody. We ain't on here to say take a look back on what they did with us to cause us not to go forward. We here to go forward from here. So if you could tell somebody something good and uplift them in some type of way, it's a beautiful thing. Straight positive.
Like I said, the energy, my brother, to elaborate on a little what he said, but in my way, you know what I'm saying? Because we each got a different perspective. Right now, the conversation that we having, the energy that revolve around that conversation is an energy of self-enlightenment. Meaning that we're not putting out no negative shit into the universe. We're putting out a consciousness into the universe to understand that each one of us, and when I say each one of us, I mean each one of us have the ability to manifest our own reality. None of us see anything the same way. You know what I'm saying? You could look at a picture and a drawing. For example, you could look at the Mona Lisa, and you could see certain things that I wouldn't see in the Mona Lisa. You know what I'm saying? You come from a different perspective, so your perspective will always point out the things that I don't see. My perspective will maybe point out the things that you don't see. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about that. It's the only thing that matters is if we're communicating with an energy that understands that, meaning that we mean nothing but positive for each other and our community. Now, if we put out a negative energy where we get to arguing and bickering with each other, trying to say that one is right and one is wrong, well, that's a flawed way of thinking, because Allah is what I like to refer to him as. He gave us each the ability with the pineal gland to manifest our own reality. Now, when dealing with righteousness and wickedness, I believe that all our realities can coexist if we're righteous, and the only conflict that comes in is when there's a wickedness added to that equation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm only trying to do good and you only trying to do good, but we don't speak the same language, we gonna feel each other. That we gonna feel through the energy that this man means no harm to me and I mean no harm to him. Maybe we can learn to communicate with each other. But if I feel like you mean harm to me and I'm not doing no harm to you, well, that's where the negative energy comes in that must be applied to the universe, because everything we know that's alive has a positive and a negative.
Right. Absolutely.
And Science, you did say you mentored to at least about 10 kids, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So this the same thing, except that, you know what I'm saying, right now in this day and age, you know what I'm saying, we grew up as kids going through peer pressure, and we had older brothers like ourselves today was peer educators. You know what I'm saying? We tell them to right, we guardians, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna tell them something good. So this is the same thing, except we doing it for our people at you know what I'm saying, at all costs, no matter the age or nothing, trying to better a person, you know what I'm saying, because it's rough on us. But I don't know.
Oh no, I get it totally. I just needed clarity. I just got clarity on where we was going, because for so long in my life, I've noticed in myself, I've been just here, there, and the other. Like when we seeking, that's what we. Oh shit! Hold on.
Go ahead.
Give me a break. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Hold up.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause you for a minute. Go ahead. But yeah, like you say, this site, you know what I'm saying? That's why, man, you put it in a nice way, man, for real. The way the podcast is supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? For the enlighten, you know what I'm saying, ourselves and others, you know what I'm saying? As far as,
yes, sir. Yes.
You know, you got plenty of podcasts and things out there that's, you know what I'm saying, that's filming other things, like filming people, people, family members on the street following crime and all that. You got other podcasts that talk against us, talking about what they're gonna do. It's a lot of those podcasts, believe me. They call them the right. You know what I'm saying? Light-skinned people, they got podcasts where they really donate to each other and everything, man. They got it all. And you know, it's time for us to come up with something good for each other that we can share. You know, even though you're doing good and you don't get in no trouble in the hood, man, you get right online. Facebook will put you in jail, man. They trying to govern us. They trying to govern us on video. You know what I'm saying? Lock us up.
They're listening to us right now
for the word that we say. And those people didn't grow up in the neighborhood. They don't know our dialogue, how we talk to each other. We might curse with our dialogue at each other, you know, but we already use some guys and some girls call each other bitches and shit, you know, for, you know what I'm saying? That's their word. And that's how they greet each other and things like that. Facebook take it another way and put them in jail for it. Them people ain't never like their book. Y'all my book, man. Cause you know why y'all my book? Because you examples. It's just like I've been to drug rehabilitation, right? And they had the counselors up in there, some of them white, some of them dark. You know what I'm saying? But they never went through it. But they graduated out of school reading out of the book, knowing the fundamentals, the 12 steps and all that stuff, but they never had the withdrawals. I always looked at the people who got jobs that participated in the program that don't went through big withdrawals, that don't threw up, had the shits, body aches and shit like that, that really know what you go through when you're doing drugs and stuff like that. Can't nobody
have to test you,
tell you how you know. Yeah, you know, you've been a part of it. You know what I'm saying? You experienced it. You know what I'm saying? You can't nobody just read nothing out the book and say that they right or whatever, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? See,
yes, sir.
Y'all experienced. See, y'all experienced a lot. So yeah, y'all is a book, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely. And that's where I go back to, you know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all brothers, and I shared with y'all brothers before in a while, I'm gonna go eat dinner with my family, you know what I'm saying? But like I shared with y'all brothers where I could, it's the intent behind things, you know what I'm saying? The true spirit that you feel behind the test that you face. You go through them withdrawals and you going through them withdrawals, it's a lot of thoughts in your head to say, hey, look, man, I could feed this withdrawal by doing some negative shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a thought in your head too to like, I can beat this withdrawal by just staying strong and standing solid. Like we are solids. I can stand solid and not let this withdrawal corrupt me to do the things that I would normally do to feed this withdrawal, right? So at the end of the day, the main purpose that I will believe that each and every individual, and I say this as an individual before we could become a collective, because we got to understand ourselves individually before we could become a collective and think as one, is to face your deepest, darkest fears and overcome them with nothing but a positive energy. If you overcome them with a negative energy, then when you try to return to the body, which is the rest of us, you will bring that negative energy with you, right?
Exactly.
So,
hey, Sass, which one of these you on? Which one of them you talking on?
I don't know.
You on two of them. You got. I can take one out.
Just take one out.
All right.
You know. So that's the choices we make, man. I believe as individuals, we all faced with certain things, and we got to make the right choice. And we're all human. We make the wrong choice a lot of the times. Like right now, I'm sitting here and I'm drinking this liquor. I'm smoking this Black and Mild. Scientifically speaking, like my brother's name, science, that's probably bad for me. You know what I'm saying? It's probably bad to be inhaling this smoke and inhaling this tobacco, and it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Once again, you know what I'm saying? Had I take a few puffs off the Black and Mild to pull it down, then maybe I would have still been in quarters to not harming myself so much. But me, I'm gonna smoke it to the end from bad habits and bad traits. And those bad habits and those bad traits, just like drinking the bottle, is the choices that we make where we kill ourselves subconsciously. We got to stop killing ourselves subconsciously. We got to be like, look, man,
you functional though, like I said, you go to work every day and you work hours and stuff. You come on, you have your sip and stuff. But when you have your sip, you don't go out with your pistol and think about hurting nobody or beating nobody down and
Not at
shit,
all.
down and nobody and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You control it.
Not
But
at all.
some people don't do that.
Yeah.
Some people do the opposite.
But I'm
Like I
still
just
hurting
said,
myself though. You
you
know what I'm
right.
saying?
We are connected to the universe. You know what I'm saying? You right.
I'm
And
still hurting myself though. And that's the main, like, before we get to helping each other and building a community with each other and speaking knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to each other, before I can absolutely say that I'm incapable of hurting you, I gotta absolutely be able to say that I'm incapable of hurting myself. And I haven't made it to that level yet, God. I still hurt myself, you know.
Can y'all hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Questions though, and it's crazy. I guess the universe wanted me to get it out because it popped in my head. Then you said what you just said, which is basically according to the top or connect to the topic or the question. The question is, how is it that we can allow everybody else on the outside of ourselves push us to do what we're supposed to be doing, but when it's time for us to do it ourselves, we don't?
That just goes back to my answer, my brother. Self is the only savior.
Initiative.
You know, should nobody be pushing you to be a more righteous and better man for yourself? We should be evaluating ourselves, because at the end of the day, I don't got the time to point the finger at you. If we only judging ourselves our whole life on this planet, then I only got the time to judge myself.
Right.
I don't got time to look at.
I'm saying like for working out. When you get a trainer, the trainer tell you he tells you exactly, or she tells you exactly the days with school. They tell you exactly what days you need to be at school and what days you don't. Anything or a job or whatever is set up to have specific times and dates. Whereas when it comes to us and ourselves, we find every excuse. And I'm not saying you, bro. So I'm hoping you ain't taking it the wrong way.
No.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm just listening to your perspective, my brother.
Exactly.
Right. So I think as a people, we'll go to a job we don't want to go to, and we complain about it. But at the same time, we be having them ideas, which I was trying to get at. I was attempting to get at early. I'm gonna say try, but attempting to get it early. Faith is the idea. When he say when So calls it in a book in the second language, he said have faith as small as a mustard seed, have an idea as small as a mustard seed, and those ideas which you put love into, you get a positive outcome, and you get some type of outcome. You get an outcome that you look for. Right. So faith is the idea, love is the action, patience is the outcome. So now, what I'm saying is that we'll be put in a position like I hear. I'm often surrounded by my brothers and sisters that will be like, man, I know I got to do it, man. I know I got to do it, but you know what it is. But yet go to work because the boss told them, or the job told them they got to be there at 7 o'clock on time.
Yes,
so
sir.
it's like, so when I asked earlier, what is the goal? Like if in the self, we all learn. But what I learned about me and what I learned about other people is that when it comes to us, we don't push ourselves the way we're supposed to, or we allow another person to push us. Because every job, workout person, they push. If you go to work, you're getting pushed. If you go to a gym, you're going to get pushed. When you're in the army, you're going to get pushed. But they be pushing you in direction you probably don't even want to go in.
Yes, sir. You're exactly right. I agree with you, son. I agree with you 100%. I believe that brothers like us that then come into a certain consciousness, we continue to play the game and we continue to be functional parts in the system, because deep down on the inside, we know enough of our brothers and sisters don't feel the exact same type of way. You know what I'm saying? The conversation that we having right now is a very deep and important conversation, because I can honestly say to you, you know what I'm saying, as a man, like I've expressed with Mike, and he might have disagreed with me, but I don't think we're supposed to be doing none of this. I don't think we're supposed to be waking up, going to work for these devils or none of that. I think the only thing we should be doing is fighting war to have a free world and live in a free world. But I know as a fact that it's not enough brothers and enough sisters to fight that war with me at this point. It's not enough brothers and sisters that have reached that same level of consciousness. Meaning,
what war you talking
if we was to get, I'm talking about the war of righteousness and wickedness. Meaning, when I say this, like me and you, we wake up, right? And like you just iterated on, which I believe 100%, we wake up and we go to work and we work these jobs, and we work these jobs for individuals, companies, whatever you want to refer to them as, that don't have our best interests at hand, right? This is fact. They don't have our best interests at hand. They're here to make some money and use us and manipulate us. What I'm saying is, the reason why we're not successful is because we continue to play a part in a system that was meant to destroy our asses, when all actuality, the only thing that me, you, and brothers like him should be doing is fighting a war for our freedom. Meaning to say that we're not gonna play this game with y'all no more. Ain't no going to work, waking up, working for your living to earn a living, meaning that you get put in an urn or you get put in a casket. Why should I have to earn anything from you when I was born on this planet freely, and this planet is my mother Earth, and she provides for me from her bosom everything I need? So why do I have to go pay you for that shit? Why do I have to work for your money?
I get that. And we don't, I think, and I don't, and I get that. And this is why, again, I asked when we were talking, when we kind of got, I don't know what it was, but something made me ask, what is the purpose? Like, are we talking about in itself? The goal is for us, and like I said, it's open. We already know that there's challenges and issues in the world. We already know this. It's there. When I share with others or I speak to others, my thing is, we know that's a problem. What are the solutions? Like, and the solutions that we're going to not let any other thing outside influence cause us to not attack that issue. I mean the issue and create a solution. It's like we're so hell bent on. Well, the people, again, there's level people. That's why you have some people that's not around other people because they don't think the same. You got people who already don't think like, you got people who are already thinking like, man, I'm not worried about all that over there. I'm worried about this. You got
I'm gonna check my bag and all that shit, you know?
Right. So now, what the universe showed me one time when it comes to chasing the bag and people that we call coons or that's down for the system, these people have took it upon themselves to say, this may not be right, but right now this works for me. I know,
that's life on life terms. That's right. That's life on life terms.
Right. So
they've been tricked into thinking a certain type of way. They think that shit worked for them. They think driving a Maserati is successful. They think owning a business in these people's reality is successful when it's not successful. The only thing that's successful to me in my mind is knowing how to survive on this planet and manipulate the earth for your well-being.
Well, and see, like you said, you Mike, and you said earlier.
That's how it's really supposed to be, right? But you know what I'm saying, as far as the world evolving and things happening, and we do live life, you know what I'm saying, the way, you know, we supposed to live, you know what I'm talking about, living life on life terms. But it's just that, you know, when we all started together in this, and, you know, as far as our culture and other people get their proper chop. You know, we don't fall for this too.
The devil did a number
our
on
ancestors, our historians don't shed blood for it and everything. So everybody supposed to be on the same level ground and stuff. But you know, you got people that want to be above you and stuff and want to control you and things like that.
The ego.
Like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's
right.
That's what we at today. That's because we all started together. Ain't nobody been on this planet. We should have just settled it. Everybody the same, you know what I'm saying, came on here the same time, man. And we started evolving and we started making a way of life. And then we had to start living life on life terms in order of producing, building, and all type of things. But as we do that, we weren't getting our proper, you know what I'm saying, chop when it came back to it. And it's still going on today to where, yeah, those people can afford this and that and stuff like that. But our people still where we was, man. We still ain't got our proper chop yet. And
so there's another thing. There's another question I want to ask.
We don't fought for it. We don't went through war for it and all this type of stuff. We don't shed our blood for this country. You know what I'm saying? For us to be on equal ground.
So this
so what we do is, you know, you got some people, the way that they grew up, they think they can get over on those people that going out robbing, stealing, or even killing. When we right here on Food for Thought today saying all we need is the education. We need the education from Chuck Kane. We need the education from science in order to make it up to these people level. That's how we get up to their level with education.
Who level we talking about?
You know what I'm saying?
Who level?
85% of the world is blind, deaf, and dumb. 10% of the world control all its natural resources, and they created the system that we live in. And the 5% of the world is us that know the truth and we feel it in our soul, but we don't have enough money and finances to do anything to them motherfucking devils.
And those are people that want to get rid of the 5%ers. They want to get rid of that 5% because we sitting back and observing. We think
this the confusing part with me.
But everybody else is following 85%.
All right, so this is what I would like that. We know again. That's a situation right now. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's something we can have a conversation about consistently on a repetition every other day. Right. That's something that people are having conversations with on a consistent basis.
Right.
This is what gets me. This is what I'm trying to understand. I know I can't understand. I want to understand, but what I want the brothers us to understand is that we first off claim ourselves as gods, kings, royalty. We the first person on earth. We give ourselves this. But it seems I'm hearing is that we're waiting on something. It seems like we're waiting on some miraculous something to happen in order to be truthful and manifest. Now, it gets me is when they say, like on a lot on the TikTok. You got a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of spiritualists on TikTok, and they be like, "Man, y'all can do this. You can do this. You can do the crystallist, and you can manifest this." And all. You know what gets me, bro, with that is that being that this is possible, and we all on the same page about getting past the European or getting past these devils, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
Why are we not putting that so-called manifestation energy that we all have individually and putting it as a whole and focusing on one thing and going in that direction? Because it's gonna manifest. It's gonna manifest.
Bingo.
No. Right. So when I hear, that's why I say the dictionary was the book. The dictionary was the tree of knowledge, knowing good and evil. Because now everybody got a way to say what this, that, and the other got some. In America, their number one thing is language. Who's able to articulate and speak well? They rise. They use language as their way to elevate people.
Yeah.
So
and their language, not our language.
We again, that's true, but we understand this. So the question is this: if their language, and I'm not asking a question, but I'm putting it out there. I ask my youngsters, I ask people that I talk to. If their language is not ours, why are we not trying to find out what language is, so that we can speak it?
Right.
God,
so that we can connect.
I told you, my perspective, and I'm not saying that I'm right. This is just something that I happen to know for myself as an individual. Okay. Like I was trying to explain. Before we spoke words to each other, we spoke through vibrations. We spoke through.
I agree.
We spoke through a mental, right?
Okay.
So if we're speaking mind to mind, you feel my energy. If I'm communicating with you, Science, like if I'm like, man, that's my brother, that's Science. I love that brother. He's a highly articulate brother, or whatever it is. I love that brother. Or if I'm like, Science, that motherfucking nigga think he's so smart and he ain't this and he ain't that. It's the energy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when they introduced speaking to each other in a certain type of way, like we're speaking now with words and not energy, we're speaking with words, but the words have energy behind it. But at one point in time, it was just energy. And when somebody trying to send you a negative vibe, it's like if you reach a certain level of consciousness, you can sense when somebody have no good for you, right?
Right. So we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about that part. That's natural. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about that.
That's natural. But one thing that you gotta admit, God, is that the way we do things now, there's nothing natural about it. We wake up, we go. That's why I'm saying, what is it that we need to? So We need to
We
get back
know
to
the
the natural.
problem. We know the problem. We know that there's a challenge.
Yes,
We got to
sir.
remember, we know that there's a challenge. We know this, whether it's whatever
We
challenge you
know
choose
it.
to call it.
Fact.
If it's against us, if it's unnatural, it's against us. So therefore,
It's
because
against
we know this, why is our, if they say energy flow, well, what is it? Energy, where energy goes, I mean, where energy flows, there you go. I forgot how to say the doggone. That's a damn shame. But
it's
where
not.
your focus go, energy flows,
I know
right?
what you're saying from
So
your thoughts.
right. So now, being that that's the case, the ones that want to see a change focus your energy on it. It's like we got a lot for some of you. Tell me about if y'all feel the same way. Why is it that it seems like we all in defense mode all the time? We're always on defense.
Right.
God, I just feel like having this
Competitive.
conversation with y'all, we doing what we supposed to be doing. We can't
No. Okay.
choose another man to see the reality. He got to come to that reality like we came to the real reality through self-preservation. Now,
Right.
there are some incapable of this. You got niggas that say, hey, man, I'm successful. I drive a Bugatti. I got a mansion, all of this. But they don't even know. They're unaware of, because they haven't made it to a certain level of consciousness, that they're not successful at all. They don't even know that they're living in a false reality. So we the glitch in the system, dog. We the ones that no matter what you did, no matter what you offered, no matter what you put in front of us, we still seen the truth. And that's the problem that we face, because we can sit here and have this conversation and it might reach few and enlighten them, but then each one teach one. So it takes every person that we enlighten to take that enlightenment to go out and try to enlighten the next. Yes, sir.
Right.
So that's where we fell short as a community of Black knowledgeable men. We've lost the ability to communicate the truth to the majority. We're selected few.
Exactly. You see, hey, Science, you know, every time I get over here, if you listen to my shows, man, I talk about self-preservation. I tell a person to have loyalty within themselves. You know, have enough loyalty in yourself to know that you're not going to get yourself hurt. Have enough loyalty in yourself not to go out and scam and ooh out the band, you know, to believe in yourself, man. That's I preach it all the time. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, ain't nothing all right unless you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Cause your thoughts and what you thinking about gonna take you there. You know what I'm saying? So change it, you know what I'm saying? Your frame of thinking and things like that. That's, I tell you that all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's about self, and that's the answer. That's what I talk about all the time. When they question you, ask what we gonna do, what we gonna do. That's what this show about, man. A person believing in themselves, man. Having loyalty to themselves, man.
We gotta believe in ourselves before we can believe in each other.
You know,
right now, okay, so that's the case. So from this point, from that question, okay, so we got to believe in ourselves. Where do we start with that at? Where do people start with that? Like, since this, because your viewers,
it's simple. It's simple instructions for a complicated person. All you got to do is do the right thing.
What's the right thing? What's the right thing for? No. Again, we got to remember, we know what this right thing. We have an idea of what this right thing is.
We know what it is.
The purpose of your podcast, we know what it is. The purpose of your podcast, or your intent for your podcast, because a podcast is something, especially on social media, is to reach other people, to let other people find out, here are some things, right?
Exactly.
So with that being said, since the question would be, what is that? There are people who's listening who probably be like, man, I hear them, but I really don't get it, bro. I really don't get it. And we assume
they're not about self, they're about materialistic things and TV.
No, I ain't talking about the one that's a people who, okay, there are people, and this is a proven fact. I guess I was on that journey before. There are people who don't know what the hell going on. Like what we talking about, they oblivious to it. It just sounds it's like a different language.
Blind, deaf, and dumb. They blind, deaf, and dumb.
I ain't gonna even call them dumb. I ain't gonna even say, for me, I'm not gonna use that term, because again, just because I know, and we were just talking about this yesterday, Mike.
Yeah.
Just because I'm able to say I'm at a level because the person that's not on this level is behind me. So I can never knock or say anything about that person. Never.
Right.
Because truthfully, that person is like light and dark.
Yes, sir. But I'm on a level like you said, your perspective. I'm on a level where I understand that we all the
Yeah,
same. You are me and I'm you. So if I
absolutely.
can understand this, then you have the complete capability to understand the same. But they choose not to
Who is
because they're
they?
too
Who is
caught
they?
up, like Mike
Who is
said, in the materialistic shit, man.
who is they
They
that
choose
choose
not.
not to? Who's they? Who is they that choose not to?
I'm talking about our brothers and our sisters, right? For example, let me give you the perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Scientifically speaking, every man on this planet is the same except for one, right? Scientifically speaking. Now we talking science. Use
Okay.
science. We talking
Okay.
Okay.
science. Every man on this planet,
Scientific.
scientifically speaking, is the same except for one, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
facts. This is scientific facts. So why does the Chinese man call himself Chinese, who is the yellow? Why does the red man call himself Indian, who is the red man? Why does the brown man like me call myself an African American? And why does the black man call himself an African? This is all what we're leading into. The point at the end of the day, we're all the same because we have melanin in our skin, which makes us one, which makes us the original people on this earth. But through technology, the technology that these devils played upon our minds, we think that we're different when we're the same. The only man on this planet that's not the same as us, scientifically speaking, is the Caucasian, because we grafted his ass from the worstest part of ourselves.
I get that.
You know,
I understand. We
you know what I'm
understand
saying?
that.
This is science. 101, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, why can I talk to a Mexican man, and I'm just speaking in terms because I know he's a black man, but he don't know he a black man. Why do I have to refer to him as a Mexican man instead of just black man? He thinks he's a Mexican man. He doesn't know that that melanin in his skin is the same as the melanin in my skin. Like if a black man sleep with a white woman and they have a child, if that child got 1% of that melanin, then that melanin is dominant, scientifically speaking, and that child is a black person. You know what I'm saying? It could be as pale as it want to be. It'll be a black person.
Now,
So
now, now,
this is
now,
how
why?
they.
Go on. This is how they what?
No, this is how they divide and conquer us, brother. This is all I'm saying. They play the technology on our minds to make us think that we was different. Me and you think that we're different from each other because we walked different paths of life and we went through different things. We didn't go through the same thing. We think that we're different. But scientifically speaking, when you break it down to the DNA, we're the same.
So now that we know that, now what?
We just broke up in tribes.
No,
Yeah,
I get
the only
this something we've been taught for years. We've been taught this is something that we consistently keep going. Now, again, when I'm asking this question, this is a challenging question. I'm purposely doing it.
yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Now that we know that, because you just broke it down, I've been hearing this for years. Now what?
The only thing
Now,
that
how does
me and you can do, now that me and you know that, the only thing that we can do as righteous individuals is to take the knowledge that we know to be a fact and try
okay?
to pass it on. And we
No,
can't
I
make
get
them
and I get
accept
that.
it.
I get
We
that.
can't make them
That
accept it. But we
you can't
did our
hold.
job as long as we know the truth and we tried to share it like we doing on this podcast. We did our job. We might fall short.
Right.
We've been falling short because they don't know it. But make no mistake that me, you, and him, we did our job. We knew the truth. We spoke it. We spoke it into reality, and they could take it or leave it. It don't make my word a hard bargain, you know?
Yeah,
And we did the best that we could do. And until we all get on that same brain frequency where they can understand what we're saying, then we can become one and we can look past the individual, because it starts with self. Like Mike was saying, it starts with self. You got to know yourself to understand that yourself is me and I'm you. We are reflections of each other, even to break it down to the gang literature that we follow. You know what I'm saying? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These are the principles we supposed to stand for, but we don't stand for that shit no more because we live in a wicked ass society that make us play a game that we not supposed to be playing. And it don't make necessarily me, you, and Mike play that game, science. We just have to play it because right now I know that if I was to go outside and start fighting war, I would lose easily. They're gonna slaughter my ass. I can't win without my brothers by my side. That's fact.
I beg to say that you can, bro. I'm gonna say that. Yes, you can. You just you're choosing the wrong frequency. But anyway,
Well,
what you
brother,
say, Mike?
Hey, I just want to
yeah,
say,
I can go
when I
out here
talk
and
to,
die,
when I,
but
when
I won't bring no freedom to this earth without y'all. We gotta fight this war together. I can't fight it
we
by
gotta be,
myself.
yeah.
Right. I
But
get that part. I get that
what I
part.
was trying to say when I be online, science,
Mhm.
even though it be a few people online or whatever and things like that, but when I talk, I consider myself having a one-on-one with the person. Like, say for instance, it's 3 of us on here right now and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And we
Right.
might be talking as other people might say, oh, they talking or something like that. But when I talk, man, it's like a one-on-one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm talking to you on an individual basis, and I'm talking to him on an individual basis. Y'all got
I'm
makes
talking to
different
myself.
meaning and understanding on what I'm trying to say, y'all. One of y'all might add it and put it to you, you know what I'm saying, your life. It might better your life. The other one might don't need it, you know what I'm saying, and dismiss it. But
He need it. He
talking
just
to
don't
people
know
as
he
a
need
crowd like we talking right now and people listening behind us, I figure we talking on the one-on-one. And that's
Okay.
Yes, sir. He need it.
Yeah.
And like
I
to
want to be talking to
reiterate
the
on this,
individual
that's my
eye to
point.
eye. Yeah.
They need this.
Okay.
They need this. That's why we don't got 50 million followers. That's why we having this conversation. They need this, but they
Yeah.
don't know it. They are tuned
How
in
many?
to
I
watch
mean,
the
how many?
basketball game, the football game, and all that shit. 50 million motherfuckers watching that shit, but they
What?
won't tune in to hear the truth. It's something behind that, brothers. That's all I'm saying. It's the way they brainwash the majority to think a certain type of way. The conversation that we having, these thoughts hasn't ever come across their mind.
Hey, and my viewers be over 50. They be, hitting the
Well,
100 and whatever.
I've been
And you know
asking
what
what's
I'm
how many viewers.
Cause no, I'm just saying though, the people
Oh
that
man,
We
I
put
listen,
the
just
energy
it be
out.
a lot
This
of people
energy is
listening,
gonna
but they
travel
might
this
not
universe.
participate. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They
Right.
might be
Yeah,
listening, but they might not participate. Just because a person don't
man.
participate, you know what I'm saying? You still can be present and listen to what we're saying.
Absolutely.
Apply it to your
Absolutely.
life or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You might don't want to put
And
your
if they
face up
can't
or
hear
whatever
it,
like that, but I'm just letting you
our
know.
energy
People
is eternal.
listening.
Our energy will reach their ass sooner or later. They'll
Plus
feel it. If they
we
can't
on
hear it, they'll
YouTube.
feel it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Somebody listening to something. Somebody, it don't take everybody to listen, but I'm happy to have a few.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I'll be on here by myself, talking to myself sometimes, getting myself an understanding. But I'm
That's where
blessed
it
to have
started.
you brothers up
Yourself.
here. I'm blessed to have brothers like you up, you know what I'm saying? And I
Mhm.
make sure I
Yes,
listen
sir.
in on what y'all saying, because you know what I'm saying about? It's knowledge.
Yeah.
It's knowledge.
That's all I'm saying. To answer my brother Science, like we did our job, Science. We trying. We spoke the truth when the truth isn't spoken upon too much nowadays. We can't ask for results. You know what I'm saying? All we can hope is that energy reach them, and that energy might reach one person, and maybe that one person could reach 2 people, and maybe those 2 people could reach 50 people, and maybe those 50 people could reach 100 people.
Hey.
But it starts with self.
It starts with self, and it might be a trend. It might go from one neighborhood to another zip code to
Yes,
another city to around the world on TV or whatever.
Yes,
but
sir.
you know what I'm talking about? You got to start from somewhere, man. And to start from
Absolutely.
here, I
I
think it's
agree.
real good and not do shit at all, except give it all to negativity.
Yes, sir. I can't sit here and have a conversation with my brothers all day about the Pacers game, the Bulls game. That's bullshit. We could talk about that shit all goddamn day long. Oh, this person dropped this single, this person dropped that single, but we can't talk about brothers like us. It's our job now that we found that consciousness through our own individual struggle. It's our job. Each one teach one. We tried. Now we don't got to make our word a hard bargain. They could take it or leave it alone. But just know when I face the Most High, I could stand in front of him and say, I knew the truth. I just didn't have the ability to change it without my brothers.
And this our platform, man. Anybody get a chance?
Man, I'm gonna say it again.
I'm just a narrator. You feel me? I don't talk about celebrities and all that. They might come up or whatever, but our program is based on self-preservation. We talk about us. I don't talk about no stars, what they doing, how they getting money and stuff like that. What don't happen? It might come up in the conversation, but no, we focus on self on here, self-preservation.
Now,
if you're not
Mike,
yes, sir.
Mike, Mike. I mean, my bad. Chuck, check it out, right, bro. I'm gonna
Yes,
say
sir.
something. Every time you say that, you say I don't have the man, bro. You do have the ability, and you're not gonna be by yourself. It's just you still because words are powerful, bro. Words
Yes,
are
sir.
powerful.
Yeah,
And
they are.
again, it's like I said early, it seemed like we waiting on something. When I was telling a friend of mine today, and I told my sister, but I was shown it first while I was meditating that all the people that I don't use the term cut off. What I do believe is that we outgrow people.
Yes,
Now
sir.
the people on the outside looking in would say for whatever reason they'll call it what they call it, but it was meant at the time for you to outgrow that person because you need to evolve. That person wants to do something to your growth. Now,
Yes.
I said to myself, I was like, and I told my sister, like I said, my friend, I was like, hey, if the people that I don't associate with no more would have stayed around and they were at where they are, I could say, man, I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying, make sure I stay with my buddy. I got to understand him or her. Even though I often say, let's share in the dialogue. Let's not, if we're going to talk about the game, let's talk about spirituality. If we're going to talk about spirituality, let's talk about what's going on in the world. Let's talk about it, but let's not make it let's not make it something that we worried about. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense. We're not worried about it. We're going to have a conversation, but most of the time, people would be stuck on one thing and don't know how to talk about, like we said, we having this conversation about self. They don't know how to talk about that stuff. And if they do, it's just a guesstimation. My thing is, you've been saying, man, it ain't about you. You already possess it, bro. You already possess it. And until if we want to inspire people, we have to first, like you said, work on ourselves. One, you got to change the language. We have to change the language. Because we got to remember people are listening, and it's already people who doubt themselves. We don't need to add more doubt to themselves.
Right.
So we got to have it. We got to, even if we're not sure of it, we got to practice when we get on this podcast to make it even more powerful, make people make sure that they want to come and listen to this, is, man, we have solutions to their issues, even though we're doing it for ourselves and we want to just throw some knowledge around, and then also we know it's going to vibrate out. We have to have solutions so that people could be like, I'm going to go over there, bro, because I know they're going to talk about something that I need. Not, I'm already down to myself, so somebody's saying it. Not that, hey, I'm not knocking what you say, but I'm being your brother. I'm going to tell you, bro.
You're right, brother. When you speaking the truth, you speaking the truth, brother.
So I'm gonna say it now, like Mike. I'm gonna be like, hey, come on, man. You can't. I know you got. I know it's a custom. I know it's a habit, but we got to get out that language, bro. That language, that's not you. You're a God. You're a king. You whatever you're royalty. You're of a higher place. Like you speaking it. You have to speak it to a point it flows consistently.
You're right.
It can't be talk. It can't be said this way, and then you like, no, but we ain't. They ain't not. I'm not able to. No, because that ain't the power you possess. You do possess the power of, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to change. I'm going to manifest this. And until it manifests, we're going to keep on speaking into it, or we're going to keep going through what we go through. As they call it, the dying and coming back. We're going to fail until we got them improved.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying, bro?
Right. You just enlightened me with that science, guy. Wait, let me say this to him, though.
You just talked to me earlier about the same thing, Chuck.
I just talked to again the same thing. I said this to him, but I needed to hear you say it to me. And you're right, God. I can't dispute you when you speak that, and that's where I'm saying that even knowing what I know, I still have my own flaws, man.
I understand. That's understandable.
But
I'm trying to work on my flaws. I'm trying to remove the doubt from myself. But from speaking this to so many brothers, and I allow myself, which is a weak way of being a guy, you know what I'm saying? I allow myself to become how can I say I allow myself to become disconcerted with certain things because I've been doing it all my life, and so many brothers turn the other cheek, the other way. And that's my weakness as a flaw. I gotta stay diligent as a God and speaking the truth, but
exactly. You never let them
right. I can't sit here. I'm gonna tell you the truth about my flaw. I can't sit here and say that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't spoke so much to a motherfucker. I would be lying to y'all faces if I didn't say that I tried to tell the truth to a motherfucker so many times and they didn't listen, where I was just like, fuck that motherfucker. He ain't capable of understanding it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's my
you being mad.
flaw. That's the flaw that I have to overcome. But God, I ain't made it to that point yet. I don't.
Right.
I don't.
And I understand that. Now watch. Now again, I'm gonna question because you have not made it to that point. Why? What is it that why do you find it hard to do it? See, like I would ask my sister, at what point did I remember asking a young guy that was a bully or some other people that they told me they were bullied, or they told me no, not bullied. They was they said they had what they call it, they were down at a kid, they were embarrassed or felt like they were not cute and stuff like that. And they would and I would ask them, but who told you wasn't? Where did you get? Exactly. I already know the system is set up when we first go to school to give you this image of you are secondary in this world. This the system that they got. That's why they show you slavery. They tell us it's about history, but really it's about submission. Look, know who you are, know your motherfucker.
His story. His story. Right, they tell us about his story, not our story.
Absolutely.
His story.
So now the thing is, because we know they set up for that, but I asked the question. You say you just spoke upon saying you're not there yet. Okay, that's understandable. That's understandable.
Because if I was, I would have reached all my brothers by now.
No. See, I used to be you. I used to be that state. It's not about reaching. It's about, like you said, y'all said earlier, self-preservation. You live in your godness, and it reflecting like a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. You don't have to tell people. We don't have to go mention. We don't have to minister. Now we can educate them as we're around them, but when they don't listen, we don't get frustrated. What we do is most people will see your light, and the most people that's gonna see your light the most is the people that you're around right now who doubt you. But when you do what you're supposed to do, they're gonna automatically see your light because they remember you from the block.
Yes,
so
sir.
You will automatically shine. It's automatic. Shining is automatic.
I can't dispute that. I can't dispute that on you, Science. And that's why I said we self. You just pointed out to me a degree that I never looked at and evaluated it like that. You know what I'm saying? You showed me a different perspective from me in a scientific mind that I never looked at it like that. From my own perspective. Now I can, and that's what I'm saying. We won.
Yes.
You saw what I didn't see. You know what I'm saying? And just like I told Mike when he corrected me, I was like, you saw what I didn't see. And that's the problem with them, that the ego plays such a part in who we are as a people nowadays that people can't see that. Like I can see when my brother is showing me something that I didn't assume. Yeah, they us. We are the same. You know what I'm saying? So my problem is making it to the level of consciousness that I made it to, which you just clearly explained to me, which is my fault, and I'm working on it, brother. Like I need to understand it. If I'm capable of understanding this, and he's me and I him, and we are all the same, and we self and we reflection of each other, then he capable of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I need to work on as an individual is I need to learn how to express. I need to learn how to, because we speaking with words, but like I speak about the energy so much, I need to learn how to convey that energy more. Because if I had complete mastery of that energy, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We would be living freely on this planet, all of us together, and it wouldn't be no such thing as greed, lust, and none of that. We will all be working as one unit together with our own specific traits and gifts that was given to us. You got the science, I got the math, Mike got the knowledge, he got the voice. We will all be putting that together to become one body. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's correct? I totally get what you finna say, Mike. You finna say something?
No, go ahead.
What? So I'm gonna pause to let you know I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm hearing you. I'm listening.
Sir.
I don't want you to. I don't want to seem like I'm just responding.
No, you're not, brother.
Okay. Okay. So I was given a quote a while back, one of my beginning of my journey, where greatness outweighs excuses. Right?
Yes, sir. Excuses are tools of incompetence.
Absolutely. Yoda says, do or do not, there is no try. So we have to get. So now that you know, from this day, right now is the easiest thing to do. Right now, we already know you're working towards it. Right now, even while you're on the podcast, practice being aware of the words you finna use when you finna speak.
Yes, sir. Right now, like I said, all I could do is speak the truth because I'm speaking from the soul. I'm speaking from an
Yeah.
energy. You know what I'm saying? Now, the words that I'm using could never express how I truly feel because, like I said, if everybody felt like me, then this wouldn't even be a part of an equation. We would have never been slaves. We would have never been put into a false system of living. You know what I'm
How do you
saying?
feel?
Now, I know this. It's a difference between believe and know. You know what I'm saying? When you know
Right.
something, sure of it. When you say I believe something, there's an uncertainty in that degree,
Man,
right?
my man, yes, sir.
So with me saying that, like I said, even with me having knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, I don't have all the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And I don't have all the books of mathematics that we're missing. And I don't have all the science that we're missing, which is why I can't explain the pyramids and all of that. So I'm missing a great level of degree in my knowledge, but I still came to the same energy. You know what I'm saying? So
Man, you
you
got a
can
lot of
have
knowledge.
knowledge.
Hey,
Yeah,
You have a
you
you
can
have a
have
lot of knowledge.
knowledge.
hey, you ain't never.
You can have knowledge, but you got to have the wisdom and you got to have the
Check it
understanding
out.
of,
Yeah.
of that first. You can't have wisdom before you have knowledge, and you can't have an understanding before you have wisdom. You got to have knowledge of it first, then have a wisdom, then have an understanding. So this all comes back to the degree of when I was born into this world, I was taught a whole bunch of bullshit that I believe by my own parents who I love truly. And somewhere in my DNA, I reverted out of that and I still seek the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I still came to a level of knowledge that I understand now. But I'm still missing a great degree of it. Because if I was truly in tune with self, I would be able to just sit here, like you said, and meditate and cast out my brain frequency, and I wouldn't have to speak to my brothers. They will feel it automatically. We're using a low form of communication and through speaking through these words. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If I was truly at the level that I was supposed to be at, brothers like me, you, and Mike, we could all sit in a circle 360 and we could meditate, and our brothers and sisters would feel it for miles.
What level are you at? Do you consider yourself at a level a level now? Because you're the only one can tell people where your level at.
God,
I mean, you're the only one can say that.
I consider myself like, and once again, I'm talking about self, and this is what I'm saying. I understand everything that you're saying. The only inability, and I don't have that inability because you correct me, and I do have that ability. I just have to find it. But the only ability that I'm lacking is to convey that message to myself. Like I got it for myself. Self is the only savior. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Everything you're saying, I understand it, but I have not found a way yet to make them understand it. You know what I'm saying?
That's your challenge right there.
I teach some.
That's
my challenge. That's my challenge. I've reached some, you know what I'm saying? I've reached some young brothers and some sisters. I went and I spoke the truth. I did my job. Like I told you, our only job once of knowing the truth is to speak it. Each one teach one. And I've done that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really consider myself as a failure in that. I just haven't reached the masses yet. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's your challenge. That's your challenge right there.
That's my challenge.
No. That's not your challenge. You didn't reach the masses. That's your challenge. You're too concerned with reaching the masses. Because if you once you study self, this is always us. And we're so busy wanting everybody to know that we have it right that we don't.
I didn't say I had it right. I just said I had a level of consciousness.
No,
that's a difference.
I'm saying you have it right. We all have it right? So they told us to say, they said, because I was going to talk to Mike about it the first time we were supposed to continue the conversation. Mike brought up something about, but y'all said the 85%, the 10%, but he didn't say it in this term. One of my quotes is said, they only say we use 10% of our brain. 10%, and then I have / mind. 10% of what number though? Because the mind is infinite. So therefore 10% of infinity is infinity.
Well, 9 times 9 to the ninth power is infinity. Mathematically speaking, there ain't no number after 9. Every number after 9 is combined numbers together.
Okay,
So you're
so
speaking
right.
math.
So I'm speaking math. What I'm saying is they tell us that my point is they tell people, or they said this, or we've heard this, that to the point we even pass it down without even really listening to what's being said, that man, it said that we only use 10%, people only use 10% of their brain. But your brain is mind.
Well,
Your mind is brain. You
yeah,
cannot take one from the other. It's just a terminology used to explain. And because of that, if the mind is infinite, how is it that I'm only using 10% of it? 10% of infinity is infinity.
I can answer that for you. In the lesson,
Okay.
it said, how did the devil master the original man? You know what I'm saying? And it breaks it down scientifically. He mastered the original man through feeding him the wrong foods, through feeding him swine, to making him consume and think a certain type of way, right? So if I had never not been taught that by my parents, I would be using the full percentage of my brain. But swine, every time you consume swine, and this is scientific fact, go Google it, never take it for words. It sounds 3 ounces per the brain on each intake, right? Right?
Yeah, I understand.
Sounds 3 ounces per the brain on each intake. So how did the devil master the original man? He taught him to consume the wrong things. And we was eating the wrong things, taught to eat the wrong things since we was born in this world. I hate chitlins and swine now. You know, I don't consume that shit no more. But when I was a child, my own mother would put that shit in my mouth. Imagine if that never would have happened to me, the potential and the level that I would be at now with as far as using my mind. It's in your toothpaste. It's in your mouthwash. It's in your bread. The devil does everything for a reason. He's no fool. Everything
Now,
that you consume.
I don't that part of the language. I'll be well, just for the record, I don't do devils. I don't do anything. You know, especially if it's a person being a devil, I can see some shit like that. But overall,
I'm just speaking scientifically. The word devil, if you go Google it, means a certain gene type. It doesn't necessarily mean evil. It means a gene type. If you really study the word devil, it means a certain type of gene. That's just a lot of facts that you know.
No, only reason I think because
I see this. I just wanted to say one thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's food for thought.
Okay.
You know, and like I was saying, we be here to uplift, you know what I'm saying, people.
That's the perfect title.
And it's about self. But you know, I think that's a problem of ours too.
What's that?
We dwell on the past a lot and never look forward. Because
we
be so involved in the past and thinking about the past, you know what I'm saying? A lot of negative in the past, you know what I'm saying? And it tends to, you know, make that heart start beating a different way, you know what I'm saying? Just like I want to tell Chuck, you know, I want him to get, because, you know, I got a nonprofit. I was talking about putting him in the classroom. But if I put him in the classroom, I told him I want him to uplift the kids and bring out their full potential, get them to dream and imagine, like he said, and stuff like that. And if you go in there, you know what I'm saying, and get to dwelling on the past and talking about what them people did to us, how you hate them and shit. The kids are not gonna want to lit. They gonna take a different perception of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And that's what I tell you. You know what I'm saying? Never let them see you sweat. You know, we already know what happens in the past and everything and stuff like that. Food for Thought is here to uplift people, to let them know their full potential, to bring out the best in the person and stuff like that. And we keep dwelling on the devils and the white, the blue-eyed devil, whatever. We can't.
We got it. You're right, guys.
We stuck. You know, we stuck. So I tend when I get on here to talk about self, you know, us, as in being loyal to us in order to go out and do something different in life and stop going in circles, you know what I'm saying? Getting out this box, you know what I'm saying, to where it's only one language in the hood. People go certain far with the dictionary in the hood. You hear the same motherfucking words every day. You see the same people every day. You do the same things every day. even though this world is evolving and shit, and they never stepped out that box to see what's outside the world and shit. They might have took vacations, but they took vacations by the motherfucking beach with the sand at the strip club, and never went to monuments and statues to know what the history is about it and shit like that for when you really supposed to go on vacation. So, you know, we here to uplift and stuff like that. I know it's a passion of yours, the way you feel about us and us evolving and stuff like that, but we can't keep, you know, letting it get to it, cause our personality, you know, enhance and modify, you know, with the negativity, and we tend to get mad and get ourselves up rough. You know, too much pressure busts a pipe, and that's what we're not about. You know, you're a scholar. You know what I'm saying? You're a teacher. You know what I'm saying? You're not a, you know. I was like, I told somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that one you, Chuck, I was saying, you an activist. I told somebody else, I say, no, you an activist, man. You're not a, you know, a scholar, a teacher, because that's what Food for Thought is, a scholar, a teacher, to uplift people, let them know their full potential and stuff like that. Activists go against, you know, the other stuff. You know, it's kind of like in the same category, but it's different. Those people find freedom if they got to fight fist, arm, stick, or whatever for their rights and woo up the bam and things like that. I'm here to let the person know that they can think and have it in their mind, and they can do it easily. It's very easily. Just like if we put our mind to something, to have everybody got a cell phone with the touch screen and you got a flip phone. You can brainwash yourself into getting a what you call a phone, you know, a touch screen phone. All you got to do is put your mind to it. You could be the alderman. All you got to do is goddamn it, do shit for the neighborhood, put up posters, get people to believe in you, talk to different people. You can do it. You could be the president. Anything that we can do, man, we can put our mind to it. And that's what we about, having loyalty about ourselves on this site right here. And if we can uplift somebody, man, we've done our job. If we can help a family, you know what I'm saying? We've done our job. If we can turn somebody in from negative to start doing positive, we've done our job. But we can't keep talking about the same shit, because words have power, you know.
Yes, sir.
We talk about what people done to us and shit, then other people get feelings. Oh, hell yeah, you right. And then start fucking up and forgetting about what they got to do because they mad, got some other shit from the past living rent free in their head and can't do what they got to do in life and get above it and stuff. So we gotta move forward. We gotta hit it on the head. If I put you in the room with them kids, I want you to tell them something that's gonna give them something going ahead. You know, we gotta live life on life terms. That's what the whole world is doing. They paying their way, they pay their bills, they pay for their food and shit like that. They work for their money and shit. We can't change the whole world like that. So we gotta blend in what we fit in and live life on life's terms. We gotta make shit best in life for ourselves on those terms, by getting the best like they did by educating ourselves, because we can do it too.
You feel me? Brother, you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head, Mike. And that's why I need y'all brothers. That's why I'm glad we all having this conversation, you know what I'm saying? Because each one of us is looking at and evaluating the problem from a different perspective, you know what I'm saying? And and most honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like you in science, and I can say this, you know what I'm saying? I know my part to play, you know, in this role. Like you said, I'm not the one.
We already know you would die for this thing. We know this.
Yeah, I'm not the one. I'm not the one that should be, you know what I'm saying? Educating the kids, brother. I'm the one that should only be educating the warriors. I know my part. Like I feel like my part to play in this. Maybe it's science's part to go educate the kids and teach them in a classroom environment like he doing with his thing like that. And he got that, you know, that ability, but that's not my part, brother. My part is, I know my part. My role is to protect y'all while y'all do that. My role is to educate the warriors so that you even have the ability to educate the children. Because if you don't have nobody to protect them children, they'll be slaughtered. And in order to know your future, you got to know your history, because history always repeats itself. And that's why my hatred, you know, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I try to deal with that, but that's where my hatred consumed me, because I know my part. My part is a role. Everybody have to play their role in this grand scheme. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have to use their abilities like superheroes. You got to use your superpower to the best of your ability, brother.
Man, we feel the
and
same
my
way though.
superpower.
We feel the
Yeah,
same way too, but you know, we don't point no fingers, you know.
yeah. My
You
my
know,
my 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 superpower ain't that, brother. My superpower is I feel like, and this is just from my perspective, I feel like the only way we can have a free world when dealing with them to destroy it all. Like we gotta tear down these cities, we gotta tear it all down. We gotta go to war and we gotta fight and it's gonna be many lives lost and a lot of bloodshed. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be enough bloodshed to fill up the sea. But if we ever want to have a free world with them, that's what we're gonna have to do because they'll press the nuclear button on our ass before they let us be free.
you know, hey, you know, the world bigger than, you know, it's different countries and stuff like that. You know, like
Yeah, yeah.
China.
Look,
What you think they gonna be doing?
I'm a
What you
flat
think
earth
they gonna do?
theorist.
What they
Like
gonna do?
I don't believe the world is
And we
round.
do
I
that to
believe
ourselves. What you think they
the
gonna do?
earth is flat. You know what I'm saying?
Iran
Like
and stuff like that. What you think they gonna do if we do that to ourselves? If we just fall off?
no.
What
You
you
know
think
what?
those
I
other
think they
countries
would.
gonna do though?
Actually, I think that brothers like Iran, that's the wrong country because maybe Russia will fight against us. Maybe Europe, Britain, you know, because they're American allies, they'll fight against us. But Iran, if you look at this fact, it's one of the only countries that ain't never been colonized.
No, I'm talking
They
about
not
America.
going for that shit.
No, I'm talking about America.
Oh yeah.
And we kill,
going.
if we hurt ourselves, if we go against each other and some stuff like that happen, what do you think them other countries across the sea and all that gonna do if we slaughter each other? What you think they gonna do?
See, I wasn't just thinking about it as America, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't just thinking at it like that, God. I was thinking on a grand scale. If we want a free world, it's gonna take all of us across the face of these United States. And this is just a small part of this planet. Like you said, I believe, like Admiral Byrd wrote in his book Beyond the North Poles and Beyond the South Poles, that the reason why the government won't let you go past the ice wall is because there's a whole different reality out there. Okay, so when I say that, I'm just dealing with us in this situation because whatever is out there past that ice wall, they're not in this situation. They're evolved from us, and that's why you have UFOs and high-tech technology and pyramids that we can't explain. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to deal with our equation before I even try to make it to their equation, because in order for us to even make it to their equation, we got to evolve, and they've been surpassed us as far as evolving. They don't have these issues, you know what I'm saying? So the only way, it's only one way I see, brother. It's only one way I see for freedom where we at in the state right now. We got to fight and take it from them like they took it from us. That's the only way I see. You know, maybe y'all brothers a different perspective. I would like to hear that. You know what I'm saying? We could teach as much as we want, but if you don't fight for what you believe in, and like science said, we keep waiting on something. We waiting on Jesus Christ to come back down out the sky. Most black people still waiting on Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
So
to come down up out the sky.
You say fight as in physical or fight as in mental?
When I say fight, I mean it on all scales of that. Like I said, each one of us got a part to play. So whereas I might be the one to teach the physical or the tactics and the strategic to fight physically, there's brothers that needed to be teaching the fight mentally. There's sisters and brothers that need to be teaching this fight spiritually. But we won't never be able to fight until we have all of those elements combined. Fighting is just not physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's in so many different ways you can fight, but we got to fight. Either way it goes, at the end of the day, we're going to have to fight.
Okay. So I understand that habit 5 or 7 habits of highly effective people. Seek first to understand before being understood.
Yes.
So I often change it though to seek to understand before being understood, because both people still have a perspective and it's still coming from the inner, whether it's mental or it's from the heart.
Yes, sir.
And I do agree that I do agree that it's good that each person, they are the word, they are the teachers, they are the counselors, they are that each person has a different level. So that some people are trying to be where they aren't supposed to be. Nipsey Hussle said at one point in time before his passing, he said, "Stay in your lane. If that's what you know how to do that, perfect that and do that well." My thing is, I guess when I often hear people, because it goes back to that question I asked y'all earlier, I asked everybody, who said that we were not great? Why do we keep speaking in the language they told they can't, they won't. Now, and then at the same time, I'm often thinking this. What did we have to a point they convinced us that what we had or how we do things, that goddamn it, it wasn't right. It had to be right if we taught them. If we taught them,
we did.
So by us teaching them, why is it that we're seeking their way of life when? Because okay, I'm glad I want to say this. Most people, I know different people have different perspectives on the movie the Black Panther. To me, the ancestors was talking, in my perspective, of what I've learned, what I'm gonna say I know, the ancestors were talking to us. That's why it wasn't the fact that it was a Black Panther or a Black superhero who's the billionist, the richest superhero. It ain't the fact of that the ancestors were actually talking to us, like spitting. And it showed me several pieces of the movie where if we, when using your third eye, you would have synced it maybe in a different perspective or a different way, but you would have synced it. And to give you an overall, like some people that spoke upon Killmonger representing African Americans or America, and then T'Challa representing Africans. Right now, you had the tribes, which the main 4 tribes, which was Earth, Water, Fire, Wind, the 4 elements.
Yes,
but it came out as 4 tribes, 4 different tribes. You have Shuri, which was a child. This is why I'm so important. This is why I'm so big on children being taught. You had Shuri, which was a child who was able to manipulate matter very good, very, very good. The reason being, children have the ability to manipulate matter and visualize before being tainted at a quicker pace than adults do.
Yes, sir. That's why I said when we was learning bullshit, we were supposed to be learning how to break atoms and split atoms.
Right. This what I'm saying. So yeah, we're on the same page then. Now with Wakanda, most people, Wakanda is actually a way of life. King T'Challa was the king and protector of a way of life, not Wakanda, a physical place. It was if you notice, when they show pieces of the people that lived in Wakanda, it showed a certain way of living, a high vibrational life. Peaceful.
Yes.
It was a way of life. Now, that's what they mean when they say if you let a motherfucker in and they not down with your way of life, they're bound to taint it.
Yes, sir. And that's why we need warrior scientists. Like I said, we need warrior scientists, engineers, we need mathematicians. Everybody got to play their part as a whole.
We do got to play a part. Now, the thing is, though, we're so bent hell on doing it because of them. We're supposed to be doing that regardless. That's something. Yeah. It ain't got nothing to do with protecting us ourselves. Eventually, we got to do that because of the way things then went in the history that it played out. But right now, the goal is to get back in the moment, back to self, because they took us so far with self doing all this extra stuff. The technology causing us to operate faster than we're supposed to. They got all these different dialogues and knowledges, and we got to get all our information based on
the vibration.
Right,
5G, we on the phone right now. 5G, poisoning ourselves.
See, frequency. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. I'm gonna say this. I just start hearing about all this 5G and all this extra stuff. When I was young, I didn't think about this. When people, I wasn't around nobody to tell me about that. That's probably the case. But it wasn't like
we came to talk to each other face to face. If I needed to see you and you was my brother, we weren't talking on the phone. I'm gonna come knock on your door.
Okay, well, we did that as far as when we had the battle, we face to face fight fist. We were living longer. What I'm saying is we did things differently, and that's not even what we did differently even in the past, like in our history. Whatever our history is, people say we are from America. Okay, if we're from America, that be the case. What was the language in America before the colonizers got to it? If I was to accept that, if I'm indigenous, what the fuck was I speaking? It's easy to tell me I'm from a place, but can't tell me what steak I ate. That's what the kids. That's why the kids. Huh?
In a way, you hit it on the head, like what I was just hitting on earlier. We are from America, because if you talk about the Indian, and this is where I talk about where they confused us with separation. If you talk about the red man, which there was people with pitch black like Africans here in America before even the Indian, they just won't tell you that because they taught his story once again. You know what I'm saying? But if we want to refer to the Indians of being here first, they was black man too. So we was here in America before them,
Okay,
before the
that's
colonizers came.
true. Again, that goes to, if that's the case, if I'm talking to a bunch of youngsters whose parents probably taught them the same thing, even if you don't talk to kids, we understand that you say, like you say, your thing is the warrior thing. So therefore, your dialogue with your warriors would be, or people that's in that field or in that race. But for me, it has to happen. It has to happen. Being
Yes,
in a
sir.
position of, you've been in a position to protect yourself, your family, whatever the case may be. It's like, it's natural. Now, for the youth, because I do that, I've learned dealing with the youth. They know a lot of the stuff. They've heard a lot of the things that we're talking about on this podcast. But it's always that case of saying, I hear everybody, but I don't understand it. I don't get it.
And that's
I mean,
why you there to give them the science.
no.
You there, your name is you. You
About,
there to break the science down for
it's not.
them.
It's not
Even
even
though I
about
know the science, I'm not there to break it down for them. You there to break it down for them.
No. I'm saying I understand this about, even with not just the time. There's adults to this day that a child. The reason I think teenagers, I'm not going to even say children, teenagers, whatever, are having a hard time within in this world is because just like you and I, we were what I call spiritually pushed. We were spiritually pushed into a direction, and we kind of went with it. Whereas if I ask my mama, you know what? If Jesus did this, why is that the case? Our parents were supposed to. Our parents are supposed to be the guys that teach us the proper way of life, but instead they have to teach us the life that is best for us when it comes to survival, not to live.
You hit it on the head, science. That's why me and you having this conversation in the first place. Like I just told you.
I understand. I understand that.
What we were supposed to be taught from the beginning out the womb, it wouldn't be none of this shit. The whole world would be Wakanda.
The reason I guess I'm saying it because you can't, if we were taught it, if we were taught it, forgive me for my French. We
found the truth a lot, didn't? Even though we was taught it, we still, some in our DNA made us come up out of that shit where we was like, no, this ain't right.
Absolutely.
And a lot stayed.
But look, we talked about that earlier too, didn't we, Chuck? Because I asked Chuck a question. I was like, can we blame our parents? And I was like, no, we really can't blame our parents back then for not teaching us what's right and stuff, because they was being, you know what I'm saying, influenced and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? So Chuck said, no, you can't blame our parents, Mike. But like today though, but look at us today though. We giving knowledge and we sucking up knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And
our ancestors did it to us.
Look, but you know what's crazy? Y'all believe in a higher power, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Go ahead, Science.
You sure? You good?
Go ahead.
Okay. We all believe in a higher power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, naturally, like you said, if we were taught, if our parents was taught what they were supposed to be taught, they could have passed it on. Everybody would, again, that was the whole purpose. Cut us off, change our language, man, teach them our ways of life. Because America is just like Wakanda. America is a way of life. America, the people who created or so-called wanted to say they founded America, they did exactly what Wakanda was. But what they did was they created from my understanding, you could create a community. You could create your own nation. They created their own nation. And in doing so, that's why their rules or regulations are above natural law, because they also created rules and regulations above natural law. And they've made it where we're only learning this above part and not the below part. The below part, they still understand. That's why they're able to do what the fuck they're able to do. Because they still understand the laws of nature. They still do rituals. They still, goddamn it, conjure up shit. They still know how to tap in. Huh?
They still natural. Like we was talking about earlier, being natural.
Right. No, right. But they're punished. They don't operate. They don't operate in the sense that we would operate if we were in our own natural state. That's why that's why it seems so corrupt. It's going in a different route. Their way of life teaches us how to walk away from, where our way of life taught us how to connect.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on with what's going on. And because they are part of us and we taught them the systematic ways of living, they just manipulated it to fit their purpose, if that makes sense. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Now, in order to, goddamn it, in my opinion, this is an opinion, but in order for us to evolve, one, we got to teach the youth. Warrior or not, you can teach them how to be a warrior. You don't have to teach them, because we're not guaranteed with the routes we taking to be alone around that goddamn long. Now, if you working towards being around long enough, get yourself together, and at the same time, pass the baton, generational wealth. Everybody talking about generational wealth, but if you take the generation off of it, then okay, you're just trying to be wealthy. But if you're gonna say generational wealth, it has nothing to do with the money. It's the people you're gonna pass a lot down to, and they're gonna pass it down to the next people. They're gonna pass it down to the next people.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Knowledge
is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding you pass down. That's true generational wealth.
That's true generational wealth. Now, in order to do that, again, we have to be willing to sacrifice ourselves. And what I mean by that, the foods that we eat. Because again, we want the truth. Now, there are some people, like other people, our people that's, you know what, I ain't worried about all that shit. Look, just get your ass a job. Just go to college, like these people say. Just do this, do that. Live that way of life. You'll be okay. It's a pastor that rolled past my TikTok one time. I listened to him multiple times. I'm like, this shit make fucking sense. He was saying that's what when they say die and be born again, they're saying that's your old you and be born again in our way of life. And then then you consider it ain't nothing about no hap out and going to heaven and nothing. It's about you living a way of life now. And once you become a Christian and you live what they say or how they say it or believe them systems, then to them, you're living our way of life now, because you following what we said is the way spirituality of life should be. When it's not that case. Sir. So
that's why I said go back to the energy.
Right. So now, if me and Mike talked about that the first time we talked. If you notice in Kemet, we were drawing off imagery. So words are just secondary for us. We didn't even read. We weren't even entitled to read, from my understanding, because I wasn't around. Okay. But I'm talking, we weren't even entitled to read books. So how the fuck is books so important today?
And just pause right there. So we went from the drums and the beats and everything back in the days. Now we on pictures. Go ahead.
Okay, so now with that
to the mind, mind to mind. I thought you knew exactly what I was saying.
The pictures, right, so we got. Hey, do you mean like the pictures that was in the pyramids and stuff like that?
Yeah, all the pictures.
Okay,
that was the indication,
pyramids, right? Right. But let us stick to historical fact. There's pictures in the pyramids, but the people that was under the ones who actually built the pyramids use the pictures as their language. The ones that actually build the pyramids use their mind as their language. That's why I say the energy. You know when somebody have bad intent for you and negative intent for you. So we went from speaking in the mind where no language was needed, our natural state where there's energy where you know, like, oh, this brother is with me. He has no harm against me. Or this brother is trying.
We use words. We use action as well. Because you remember the dung. Remember they talked about the beetle, the dung. It would roll a dung in this. I think it was I forgot how it goes, but I'm because like I said, I told him, like I said, I'm not good at quoting all that stuff, but it rolled the dung. And when looked upon, it was showing how it was supposed to represent a form of reincarnation. But if we see certain things, because of that action, it sparks up an energy within ourselves that causes us to remember and be like, oh, I know what the fuck they saying or it's saying.
They still can't get back to that.
Right.
Yeah, so we got to get back to moving shit with our mind, telekinesis.
And again, if you say that's what it's not about, it's not. Well, again, that's I understand how you see it. It's not about until we do it the right way, we're gonna always be behind. And ain't about a right or wrong. Well, the way of law is not about us. It's not about us. What am I saying? It's not about us wanting to be able to move things and be, because in order to get your true power, you got to be still as hell, and it can't be because you want to be anxious. You can't.
No, you got
to
get it back in tune with the universe.
You got it back in tune. But in order to get back in tune, right? But in order to get back in tune, you have to be willing to sacrifice self, deal with yourself, like you said. Like we say, all self in the person, in the self, and we got to get back into that part of ourselves. When we're too busy on the we're not on the outside really grasping anything. We too busy on the inside. We trying to get we got like we working on the outside end.
We gotta submit to the will of God. You know what I'm saying?
But then that goes the question. Like I used to ask when I was young or coming up on my journey before I even. Two things I asked my grandfather. I used to go to church with all the time. I was going to church, even though his church would accept the fact that I was a different thinker. So I would ask them. I say, I know y'all say have faith, man. But what the fuck is that? What I mean, man, I didn't say what. I'm like, so what? But what does that really mean? Like, how do you have it? How do I know when I'm living in it? How do I know when I'm confident as hell? Or like when I'm ready, when I'm in that faithful thought process. Same thing with what you say. How do people know when they in that moment or understand the self? How do they know? Like your mind, how do you know at that moment to listen to that instinct? How do you know? I have a thing I call love, laughter, and these are my principles. Love, laughter, language, identity, and purpose. The language part is what you talk about, the warrior within you, the understanding your instincts, or with your woman, understanding your intuition to a point that you move naturally in accordance. Once we understand that language again with ourselves, that's what we need. We need to be to get people to be like to the point it's natural for us. That's what they don't want. That's why they got everything, and that's why they got everything like TVs, radios, phones. Everything is to keep us off center.
That's why you shit in the toilet. That's why you live in a box. All of that's unnatural things. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I said about the energy. We got to get back, like you said. We see it from different perspectives, but it's the same. You know what I'm saying? It's getting back to the natural survival and manipulation of this earth. When I say manipulate, I don't mean to control. Man, we're meant to be the keepers of the planet, not the dominators of it. So meaning we supposed to get back to the natural. Like you said, we're not supposed to be living in concrete caves and shit, building buildings and shit. We supposed to be living in tree houses, huts, tents. We supposed to be making everything out of the soil, out of the earth. We're not supposed to be mixing concrete and shit like that. We're not supposed to be relying on these phones to communicate with each other. We're supposed to be able to travel, even if I got to travel miles to see you and you my brother and I love you. If you my brother and I truly love you, I'm supposed to travel the miles to speak with you, you know?
Okay.
And before we lost who we were, we didn't have to travel miles. I could think a thought and you would hear me across the planet.
But do you think, okay, I honestly have a hard time with that, accepting that part right there. I can believe this is what they say, but and I'm saying this I want to know what your overall perspective. I know this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be doing this, supposed to be living this way. But then I often think, will we have never evolved to the state we in right now, but maybe we just rushed it, or somebody else on the outside pushed it a little quicker than it's supposed to be. So the fact that this exists.
We de-evolved. Okay. We didn't evolve. We de-evolved. We de-evolved. That's the mistake that a lot make. And this is just my perspective. We de-evolved.
Okay.
We didn't evolve. We de-evolved. We went backwards instead of going forwards. That's why we can't explain the mathematics behind the pyramids. That's why we can't explain the universe. That's why we can't explain the UFOs traveling on the magnetic lines of the universe, the way they move up and down, and they exist. You know what I'm saying? We can't explain that because we de-evolved. We lost knowledge itself.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just my theory. You know, I'm not saying it's y'all, but that's my theory. We de-evolved.
I'm listening too. I'm trying to see where you at with it. But I understand them now. I understand. Yeah, so you saying it's because of us. It's because of our thinking and you know what I'm saying? That's what
you're saying, right? Who you asking that though?
No, I was asking Chuck that. He said we de-evolved. It's because of self though, right?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say because of self. I would say because a certain group of individuals took it upon themselves to use a type of knowledge that we wasn't aware of, which is technology, to master us as the original man. So when they use that technology on us to master us as the original man, they put us into a way of life where after generation after generation after generation after generation after generation, we de-evolve, we didn't evolve. They broke us back down to savages almost. You know what I'm saying?
But
Because
that
if you
didn't.
think about slavery didn't just exist in America. It was our own people that sold us to the Europeans for bullshit like guns
But
and
what about
gunpowder.
ourselves though? What about ourselves? What about the loyalty that we have to ourselves? Why we worry about that?
Well,
Why
that's
we
what I
ain't worry
said.
about self?
That's why we always go back to, like
You know,
the brother said,
it's
where I
easy to point
failed,
the
where I think
finger
I
at
failed is
somebody.
self
You
is the
know,
only
I'm
savior.
just saying
I'm
though,
about to
it's
fail
easy to point
myself.
the finger at somebody though. But what part did you play in it? Did you do something for yourself? Did you make a change? Did
Man,
you
I
think of
did.
something different?
I got
Did you
knowledge,
try to
wisdom,
get
and
more
understanding.
educated or more knowledgeable instead of
Yes, sir. I
you know
got
what I'm
knowledge,
saying?
wisdom, and
Instead of pointing the
understanding.
finger and using that as an excuse of, you know, where you at, you know, in life right now and stuff like that.
It
No,
is not an
you being
excuse,
like
God.
you where you at,
It's
you
fact.
capable of doing, you know. You could tell your
Yeah,
own
exactly.
future, man. You could write your own book, man. You could believe in yourself and go forth them things. We don't have to
I
keep
believe that.
pointing the finger and saying somebody keeping us down. Ooh, that's why
Right,
we ain't got
right.
nothing. We can't go nowhere and stuff. So
No,
damn,
I'm
fuck
not
them.
saying
I
that.
hate them.
What I'm
You
saying
know, we
is,
gotta,
like you said,
you know what I'm saying? We
you're
gotta
right. But
educate
I
ourselves.
can do that
You know what I'm
myself.
saying?
We can't do that as a whole.
See, you
You
can't
know what I'm
never say
saying? I know brick mason.
can't nobody make you do
I
nothing
know
that
how to
you
live
want to
off
do.
the earth.
You gotta let a person brainwash you. You know what I'm saying? You
I
still
don't
got
think we let them.
yourself. You know what I'm saying? Can't
I don't
nobody
think
do
we let them.
nothing that you don't want them to do so long as they don't put their hand on you. They can't
So
control
this is what
you.
I'm gonna ask you,
You
brother.
are
This,
you have the power.
so
You,
this is what I'm gonna ask you, brother.
Hold on, let
yes,
me
Just
ask you a
let
sir.
me
question.
ask you a question. Let
Yeah.
me ask the question and then answer this with
To
fact,
me,
not make believe. Right now, in this country, can we go claim land like I know we supposed to? And can we cultivate that land and live off that land freely? Just answer me this question. Can we do that?
From my understanding, people do it every day. Not at the capacity we talking about. We may not own it, but I see people just. For me, I just did a little traveling, and from my understanding, people are parking in parks. I mean, you can go live off the land. Now, if answering your question, but if I'm looking at it a different way, I'm saying we may not own the land. And can you buy land? Yes. People are buying land all the time. We got people talking
I
about, I
own
just bought this
land,
out
but
there.
what I'm saying is, God,
right.
that buying land is a lower form of thinking. We shouldn't have to buy no land. We was
Of course, okay.
born. So what stop us? What makes us say that we have to buy the land and live off of it? Our
Okay,
governments.
not this. This is what I'm gonna be honest.
I'm just
This is
speaking
why I
facts.
don't. This is why I don't. I'm not understanding. I'm not understood in that part. But I don't know, because again, I didn't think about this is stuff that I didn't have to think about at the time, or I wasn't thinking about at the time. But I'm hearing it. But I'm also hearing, while I'm hearing, man, we supposed to be doing this. We supposed to be doing. I've been hearing this for years. I'm
Yeah.
saying, what's the difference? Okay, if we don't supposed to be doing, then what are we supposed to be doing? It's like when I used to tell people, I used to share with my coworkers when I was doing working at the Y. I would say it's easy to tell a youngster to take the steak off his plate, be like, man, you need to do this, you need to do that, but at the same time, you ain't got enough to replace it.
Yes,
How you
sir.
gonna tell them to
But
take
we
it?
do.
How you gonna keep, like, you telling me we supposed to own land? Okay, I'll be hearing people on
No,
TikTok always.
we got it to replace it. We just oblivious to it. Like I said, we're
Okay,
born into a
how do we get to
world
that?
that these people dictate. And I'm not, and y'all can say I'm pointing the finger, I'm just speaking facts. Like, you can't go nowhere right now, build your own house in America and say, this is my house. I built
You
this
call me
house
a
off the
god,
land.
right?
I'm just speaking facts. You
You
got to
just
go
call
in the
me a god.
woods and shit.
You just called me a
Yeah,
god.
God.
But
Yes,
how you
sir,
gonna call
because
me a
that's what
god?
you are.
Wait, I'm asking this, and I'm really asking the question. How the hell you gonna call me a god, but at the same time tell me these people ain't letting me do something? That's a contradiction, bro.
No, it's not a contradiction, brother, because
You
you
telling
can
me I'm
be a
gonna change?
God and you can go do that. You can go do that. You
Okay,
can go
okay,
do
okay.
that, but then
I just
people
wanted to
gonna
say that.
come tear your shit down and kill
Wait a
you.
minute. Now
They
watch
gonna be
this.
like,
Now
nigga,
watch
you
this.
don't own this shit. You gotta
But
buy
watch
this
this.
shit. The
Now,
government
now,
is gonna
now, now
send an
watch this.
army.
Now watch this. Even if you see who, but I'm gonna say you just told me that if I
Yeah,
got up to, so let's imagine you talking to a group of people, you talking to a masses now, not no youngsters either. Man, y'all can
yeah.
do this, but I'm gonna
Like
tell y'all they gonna come.
Farrakhan.
No, hold on, y'all can do this, but they gonna come and tear your shit down. So you saying, oh, we can do it, but we gotta be worried. See, that's
Most
to me that,
definitely.
but
In
to
this
me that
country, and I'm just speaking about this country. I'm speaking about America. I ain't talking about
okay.
South America. I ain't
No, we
talking
talking
about
about
the
right.
Congo. I ain't talking
That's what I
about, but
mean.
we not there. We here in America. I'm talking about where
That's
we
what
at
I'm
now. I'm
saying.
talking about our reality. I'm
That's
not
why
talking
I'm
about the
trying to
rest of the
say,
planet.
right, you're right. I'm just saying, if we're gonna, again, the purpose of the podcast, to me, in my opinion, and I know this ain't my podcast, but in a sense, if a podcast from when I've been looking at other podcasts, is always to get information to elevate another person who's watching.
Yes, sir. We
So right,
elevating.
we elevated. Now we're elevated, but the goal is we're not talking amongst ourselves. This is not like me, you, and him on the mic on the phone by ourselves, and nobody else is watching. People are watching. People are hearing it. So therefore, we need to share or make. And I'm not saying some of us. I understand. Let me first say that I understand where you're coming from, but overall, we got to tell people they got a chain on them, and there ain't no way around to getting out that motherfucker.
Right.
No, it is a way to
That's
get up out of it.
huh?
Break that shit. That's
Right.
my
But
standpoint.
again,
That's where my standpoint.
Right.
Break that shit and
You
tell these
exactly right.
motherfuckers we not finna play this game no more.
right
We not
now,
finna work for your companies no more. Fuck a business. We finna be born on this planet and live off the earth freely.
you know
The
what's
earth provides
crazy.
for us
You
everything
know
we
what's crazy
need.
though.
It's our life support system. That's where
That's
I
true.
break the chains at.
But life itself is just like a warrior within his own. If you go, okay, I'm gonna come out just like this. I
I
got me
can
a
do that
plate.
right now.
Oh no,
I
watch
can go
this.
live off the land.
No,
What
you
I'm gonna
probably
do when they send their
whoa, hold
army?
on.
They
Now
got armies. Do we got armies?
that's what I want to hear. You can go live off the land right now, but for whatever reason, you're not. I'm hearing you say, and this is not a say. I take it, but we dialogue with. I'm hearing you say
I'm
they
speaking
ain't gonna let
facts.
you.
It's a lost cause.
You gonna say it's not. You
And
gonna say
do I need to give an example of this?
what you mean
You want to know what the perfect example of it is?
of
You
what?
being a very educated man, Black
You talking
Wall
about
Street.
something again?
Black Wall Street is the perfect
Okay, watch
example of
this.
it.
Watch this.
When we
I know.
did that and we built our own and we went and lived on ourselves and we stopped doing business with them, what did they do? They dropped a nuclear bomb on it.
I'm gonna give you.
It was the first place a nuclear bomb was dropped, not Hiroshima.
I'm gonna share two experiences. I'm gonna share two.
It happened though. So what do we go from there? We got big
So we
and
got to
better
learn
now.
from history. You got to know your history to know your future because history always repeats itself.
So what?
So
What?
now
Okay.
we
What is
know
that?
that we can go build Black Wall Street again. We can do it again, but it has
Right.
to be protected. It has to
Okay.
be
That makes
protected.
sense.
It
That makes
just
sense.
can't be open to have a bomb dropped on it. It has to be protected.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes all the sense in the world. That make me say like you get you. That makes I get it, especially if you have a bunch of people. Y'all already know we already know the situation. I can say y'all, but we already know the situation. We're gonna see. My thing is we're gonna automatically do that one because we know what happened before. So we're gonna do that. But my thing is how I'm asking you, how does people get to that point? We know that they will do this, that, and the other. Again, we're going back to that. And then you said we got to worry about this. I have two short examples of
How do
something.
we get to that point, God? We got to abandon their way of life. We can't play the system no more. We got to
Okay.
understand. We get to that point by understanding and recognizing that everything that they say to you is successful, like opening up business and earning, there's that word again. You get put in an urn when you ashes. A living is bullshit. We're not earning nothing from y'all. You don't have the right to dictate this planet. This is our planet just as equally as it is the government's. We got to tear all this shit down and start over from scratch. That's how we get to that point.
From scratch. I'm gonna keep asking the right question. Start over from scratch. Well, you got the knowledge. But remember, we are action people. We are a people that do. We are action. We do. We again. That's why the pyramids were built with the things. That's why we didn't read books, because we were vibratory. So we have to remember who we. First off, we got to remember who we are. We got to go back to self. What did I speak, or how did I speak? How did I communicate with the universe? You got to ask those questions amongst yourself, and you got to wait for the answers, right?
No, I don't got away from him. I know him, God. I just told them all to you when we was having this conversation. We didn't speak with a language. We spoke with energy. You know when somebody got bad intent and ill intent towards you from
I ain't
their
talking
energy.
about right. I know about the energy. I know about the energy they trained me to have.
I don't know about because if I still had the energy that they trained me to have, I wouldn't be having this conversation with y'all. They trained me to hate my own and to have nothing but hatred towards my own brother and to live in the false system. I don't have that energy. I grew up just like Mike. I grew up in the townhouses, Henry Hornet projects. I don't have that energy no more. We know brothers still there in that same place doing that same thing. What's the difference?
Don't necessarily mean you got to. Don't necessarily we got to. Having that energy does not necessarily mean we have to be living in a chaotic mind state. It could be just a stuck mind state. It could be a mind state of constantly pointing the finger and blaming. It could be. It's not operating in science, or not even say science. I don't even want to use my name. It's not operating in within ourselves, like reading our manual, our book, in order to know y'all can't fuck with me because I know who I am. I know I'm serious.
That's what I'm saying to you. Like they can't fuck with me.
Okay.
Because I know who I am. So what I'm saying is I can be that and I can go do that, but I understand the toll that's been displayed by them from being who you are and knowing who you are. They kill your ass. And once again, we go back to the examples. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Honorable Elijah Muhammad. God damn it, we go back to them all. Every black man that ever spoke and had these conversations like we having now and reached the masses was what? Assassinated. I'm speaking facts.
You know what yeah, that's why I don't do it often, but it's not because of that. It's not that I'm worried about that. My thing is this, but then that's gonna be what we're gonna teach people, that you gotta be afraid. Because again, we in deep.
No, we're not teaching them fear. What I'm saying is let's correct the fear. They was afraid and they feared and they died because we wasn't there to protect them. I'm saying when we get men like Dr. CB that speak true healing from the naturalness and the herbs of the earth,
there we go.
We supposed to protect him. We didn't protect him. We let the government go kill him. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only That's the only change we need to make, God. That's the only change we need to make, God. We need to start protecting our treasures. And when I say treasure, I ain't talking about no gold, no diamond. I'm talking about us.
I just want to reiterate one time. I just want to reiterate and just say that, you know what I'm saying, to the people out there that's listening to the program and everything. I just want to let y'all know, you know, as the founder of the program, that everything is allegedly on the program. You know what I'm saying? We really can't say nothing true. We can always say what we heard and things like that until the truth come out. So for the station, food for thought, everything is really allegedly. You know, do your homework on it. And you know what I'm saying? Get yourself your understanding of it.
Educated. Yes, sir. That's fine. That's fine with me, because I know if brothers go do the homework on it, they'll see this. That's all facts, brother.
And you know what's crazy? I'm not gonna doubt that it's facts, but it's fact that we ain't changed in so many years. It's just facts.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all. You the answer on how to change it.
It's again from the time of me. It's been facts, and we've often been told, again, the youth, the adults. That's why people are like all over the place with it. You got those different religions, you got these different ways of life. You got this. Our people mainly are confused. They like, man, you know what? With all that's going on and all that they talking, it ain't helping me to take care of my family. It ain't helping me love on my kid a little better. What it's doing is telling me, yeah, I know they put me in this position, but ain't nobody telling me how the hell to get out. And the one that's telling me to get out, I can't trust them too much. Or the ones that's telling me to get out, they taking the route I don't want to take. I don't want to go through the system. I don't want to say, you know what, I'm gonna just do what America doing, and I don't want to live a life. So the ones that's like me and you, we supposed to be bringing food for thought to the table,
right?
So when they eat this food,
and we are.
So when we eat this food, my thing, like I don't really use.
So what type of food you getting them? You feel me?
Right.
We all doing our part. Mike got this podcast. You got the science. I got the spirit. We put them all together. They're the languages of the universe.
Right. Like when we talking, the dialogue in itself is just three different people having we having a dialogue, and each person is breaking down and putting out their perspective of what they see, whether they disagree or don't agree. And one thing about me, I'm not a disagreeing with nobody. My thing is, what does it look like? What is what that next person, with a Muslim, I studied Muslim, never wanted to be a Muslim. What does that look like? I see that. I studied, I was a Christian, I was born in the church. It didn't make sense to me because my spirit was like, why is that? How at a young age you be looking like, how the hell is that possible when they weren't even doing that from? You have knowledge of something way before you even start reading books. You can tell something ain't right or something is off automatically.
Yes, sir.
Kids do this to this day. That's why the children are proof that we were operating without books before we were operating with books. And the proof is in that when you see a child acting out some things that you be like, how the hell that person know that damn shit? Why they was old soul?
Yeah,
because they
all these big mega churches. Why are so many homeless people sleeping on the street?
Why
agree. People freezing to death in Chicago, and you got a church? I thought if you was, this is people practicing false principles. You know what I'm saying? They say that they of this and they're a righteous person, but they're not practicing no righteousness. That's why we got to go back to the energy. They sitting there saying they're representative of God. But Christ would have had, if you're a Christian and you believe in Christ would have had 200 people sleeping in his church on top of each other if it meant they stayed warm for the night and not froze to death, right? So let's just go back to the energy between wickedness and righteousness. What they did was wicked, and what we're trying to accomplish is righteousness. That's all we got.
We're not. Again, you said we. I got. We're not trying to do anything. We're actually doing it, bro.
We're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Even if it's at a small scale, we're doing it on a mass scale.
We like Mike said, it started with self, right? We did it to self. We evaluated self. We said, hey, you know what? This ain't right. Something wrong. We did our research. We got our, we went and did our math. We went and did our science. Like your name, we went, and once we did that research and that math and that science, we seen that shit wasn't equaling up. Because now we know the truth. You can't lie to me and tell me a lie. See, it's easy to deceive a motherfucker that don't do that.
I just want to ask,
but you can't deceive a man that done that. Once a man done that, you can't deceive him no more. He know the truth.
I just want to say, because we've been talking about these people a long time. Who is we talking about?
Right.
Who is they? Who is they?
We?
All right, God. This is what I'm gonna break it down for you. Let me elaborate. Let me break it down.
My man.
Okay, so when I said 85% of the world is blind, deaf, and dumb, I didn't mean it in a derogatory way. I'm just saying that 85% of the people on this planet are born and they live their life accordingly. Like they don't ask questions. They go to work. They work their jobs. They go to the grocery store. They buy their food. They just haven't even thought of the concept, right? When I said 10% of the world, let me break it down. I'm gonna break it down for you, and this is all facts. Go do the research on them. When I said 10% of the world is the people that control all of the world's natural resources, and when I say this, I'm speaking of like the Trilateral Commission, like Bilderberg, like banking, the Federal Reserve. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about people that created entities because they knew that we was the original people on this planet, and that they had to change the way of life.
Is you corporate or you talking about culture?
No, God, I'm breaking it down for you scientifically. You got to listen to you mathematically. When I say these people, what I'm talking about is when I say the 10%, okay.
What nationality is the people? That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, they all nationalities, brother. The Trilateral Commission got Jewish people on it, Chinese people on it, black people on it. It's got white people on it, European people on it. They're all people that even though they say, okay, this is our country and this is our country and this is our country, they're people working towards a new world order. That's what I mean when I say these people. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying they're, even though they might express to the people that they're different and they're for the people, they still have the same agenda. Same thing, to give you the perfect example so that you can understand politicians. We so quick to say this a Republican and this a Democrat. There's no such thing as a Republican or a Democrat. In the end, there's just a politician. You understand? At the end of the day, they all sit down at they all sit down at the table and decide what they're going to do with the people. That's the 10%. That is the rich people, the Queen of England, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Zuckerbergs, the goddamn it, whoever you can name, goddamn it, with billions and billions and billions and billions and billions, enough to influence the world, right?
So we supposed to get together, unite, and have a war with those people?
No, I'm gonna give it to you a little bit more deeper now that we dig deeper than that. I'm talking about people, right? Mm-hmm. But if we're human beings, meaning you have hue and you're a being, if we're human beings, then what other beings are on this planet helping control that situation? You know what I'm saying? And I can't really speak too much on it. You know what I'm saying? But make no mistake, there are other beings on this goddamn planet that been here before us that are not human beings. They are completely different type of beings that wanna, you know, influence our planet. This is something that goes over a lot of people's head. A lot of people don't understand this, you know what I'm saying? But it's been documented and it's been researched, and all you got to do is go do the research and find the knowledge that's out there for you to understand it.
I do got to ask you this question, man, with that right there. Just a good, quick question. And I'm always going to revert back to the youth because I consider looking at what we have as adults. I look at, okay, I know I can share with you and you can share with me the information you have, the information I have, but I'll put in my mind, I always consider the youth. If I'm talking, yes, I'll be like, man, you know, there's some reptilian motherfuckers around here too. Y'all got to be careful. I don't think that's, so now I done planted a seed in a youth's head or a teenage head. They don't know nothing about no damn reptilian. Probably don't know how to even start looking for it because one, they can't afford the time to go look for it because they got to live their life. So they can't really put the time unless they want to say, you know what, I'm finding it to be interesting. Let me go over there and do this. Let me look that up. Not added another problem on their plate because I didn't just told them about it.
No. You hit it on the head with your first statement. You said it out of your own mind and your subconscious. You said I planted the seed. And that's all you needed to do. You planted the seed. You said it out your own mouth. I'm gonna plant the seed in their mind.
No, but you don't get what I'm saying.
But you're sending them to something that don't exist.
Right. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, brother. Let
me say this.
It exists. It exists.
Okay, let's say this. Let's say this.
I'm not sending them something that don't exist. It exists, whether you can wrap your mind around it or not. It exists. What makes you think in this big galaxy we the only people walking around this motherfucker? You don't believe there was dinosaurs? You don't see Komodo dragons? What the fuck makes you think it's not a certain type of people like that? We have all the science and math to point to it. If you don't believe that, that's just something you can't make your mind around. But I don't believe nothing. I know.
Okay, I'm gonna put 2 points on what you said. Noted two things. And it's not to get what you said. One, if it is true, and I speak that to some youth or teenagers, because I'm always consider them, because they the ones got to go next. They got to be prepared for shit like this. So
you prepare them,
right? No, and I tell them about reptilians, and they already got a world they got to deal with, motherfuckers that they don't even get to see the reptilians, so they show themselves. If they show themselves, they don't get to see them. So now they got it in their head. Now they got to worry. Well, I better be careful. It's bad enough they got to worry about if you elevate, the motherfucking Illuminati gonna get your ass. So now you got teams. Well, let me say this. Now you got teams, people scared to evolve because they don't want to be approached by somebody without having no backup. Like you said, nobody protect them to make sure that if they did do a contract, it was well done right. Or nobody that's now you're preparing them, but with no protection. Now you got the team that's sitting in their brain with no protection. See,
what do y'all consider elevate though, God? That's what I'm saying. You say elevate. What are you talking about? Elevate. The only way that you got to worry about some Illuminati is if you're trying to elevate and play that game. It's people like Dr. CV that elevated and they didn't play that game, and he's dead. They killed his ass.
I get what you're saying. You're right. What I'm saying is that elevate. Some people are going to come. This world exists. This part of the world exists. It's just there's nowhere around this shit. It exists. We have people buy homes. People doing this, that, and the other. People are working their ASS off. People are doing a whole bunch of other stuff, bro. People are choosing spirituality. People are choosing to live off the land. People, there's all this that exists. We see it. Now it's a choice. Which one you gonna go do? Which one I'm gonna go do? Which one? Man, you know what? I started off rough. I was living this way, and I'm gonna go try to live by the land. Finding a way to do that. That's it. But when I think we don't consider the youth. I really believe we're not all this information. And if we're barely understanding, and you think if we sitting up here saying we got to convince, which I stopped doing a long time ago, trying to convince another person, a grown person that don't get it, what makes you think a kid that's an adolescent gonna get it from you even easier?
Well, God, you hit it on the head. When you're born into this world, you're receptive to knowledge. Once you become grown, you're stuck in your ways.
You don't know what it is, though.
You're receptive to it.
You're receptive to it, but you don't know what you're doing.
If they're born out the womb and you start to teach a baby from the time it's born, this is something you're gonna have to deal with. It's a reality to them. It's not like us. This is where we fail.
Why not train our teens to be upright, independent, and fearless, and just naturally operating and knowing that whatever comes to them or when times pour out, they're gonna give them the history. Give them the history. Give them the history. No. What I'm saying, the basics.
We can take that route with them.
No, I've been saying that. I'm talking about the basics, like saying they're gonna be taught slavery in school anyway. That's a given. They're gonna be taught that.
In school, you just hit it on the head. They're gonna be taught slavery in whose school? Not our school. We're not teaching them that shit in our school. They're gonna be taught slavery in their school.
Until we get to school.
We got schools.
Okay, well,
we got schools.
Well, how many schools we got? What we got? I'm just asking. I don't know. I know about one.
Once again, we revert to facts. One, we got, goddamn it, the Nation of Islam, which is a school. It's not a religion. It's a school. Okay. But I'm saying a lot of people like to look at it and say it's a religion. No, it's a school. They educate motherfuckers on shit that's far way past most adults' heads. You know what I'm saying? They teaching you.
What about the right foods? You said it. Right. You said earlier, bro. Right? You said,
I know.
You said right. It was certain, and I never knocked that because I'm not the one to tell you what you don't know what to do. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
just like you know that. Just like you know that the teen, if you pay attention to the youth and babies and people that's being born now, those teens are more successful. That's why they're coming out more crafty.
What's successful to y'all?
Hold on, man, bro. I asked you that question earlier. Who told us we wasn't successful? So it don't make a difference. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Who told us we're not in a position we're supposed to be in anyway? We probably only convinced them. Maybe we are. Maybe if you notice, the only thing that we want to acquire and we consider physically successful is having money.
And that's not successful.
I get that, but at the same time, if you don't have and I can't say you don't because there are teachers out here, there are people, but they're not really. I don't even know how they operate. They're not really out like they got their schools for those that want to take their route. We're more brought up around technology, distractions, doubt, fear. We don't have mom saying, you know what, I'm gonna take this money, or I'm gonna go to this. We finna go to this school over here. Because one, they don't want that. In order to live in America, in order to be American, you have to not be what you call a culture person. You can't be about your race in such a way. You can, but that's when they try to utilize it. But overall, if everybody did it, it'd be back to us being in our natural and our strength. So, which now causes them to say, when I was colonized and I was living in the European way of life, if I was doing that, I'll be painting the picture this way. But the fact that I'm cultural now and I'm living the way of life of my ancestors, or I'm timid to do that, I'm painting this picture totally different, which now takes the credit and the attention away from the person and the way of life of the Americans, which they can't hide it. Oh no, it's too many of y'all starting to think in y'all culture. We don't want that. We could no. We need y'all to stick on our surface.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So now, so with that being said, we just gotta. My thing, we got a lot of. This just me.
Take them out of that shit. We're the elders. We're the elders now. Our elders have
Absolutely.
been long gone, dead in the earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Right? They're gone. Right?
Right.
Now
Okay.
it's our turn to make sure that our youth, like you talking about, it starts with the youth. It does start with the youth. But you have to answer this question for me. And when I say this,
Mhm.
we're the keepers of the youth. So how about we change how we deal with them? How about you not send them to that bullshit ass school? How about when they're born, you teach them math and science yourself? How about when they're born, you teach them how to cultivate the earth and how to grow land, which will spark the seed of their natural state in their mind where they will want to live naturally and not be a part of the system. It starts with them.
I mean, I get it, but you have to first break the bear. This is not an excuse. We have to. That goes to.
It sounds kind of crazy because you're teaching them the same thing the school teaching them, but what you teaching them something else about history, cause math and all that shit. If you're teaching them math and shit like that, you know what we dealing with math. What we gonna be dealing with to be taught math and to
God. Let me just
math.
Let me just hit this. They do not treat. What about teach brick masonry in school?
That's what
they
I'm
do not teach cultivation of land in school. They don't teach that shit for a reason because they want to dumb the masses down. They don't teach that. They don't teach that. Carpentry is carpentry you only need when you living in a house. Only time you need carpentry is when
if you think
carpentry, only time you need carpentry is when you're living in a house, God.
Bro,
you think that? Right. Carpentry got multiple.
No, I know that.
No, that's not true though.
That ain't true.
Carpentry and masonry is not the same thing, which is why the Masons call themselves Masons. Masonry is knowing how to build. If you can build a home for yourself, you don't need it. Carpentry is laying down rugs and laying down upholstery inside of a house. They're two different things.
What about a janitor?
Huh?
Can a janitor live in a house or an apartment?
A janitor could live in all of that. He could live in a house, apartment, a tent, a box, a cardboard box. God damn it, a cardboard box could be your home if you build it the right way. Masonry.
Right.
So why dude gotta just know carpentry? Gotta stay in the house. Why he gotta just live in the house? Why he can't stay in an apartment?
Okay, so listen to the word. When you say that, you say carpentry, right? So let's break that word down.
Building things.
Carpentry. Let's break it down. Carpentry, right? What is the first thing that you think of when you say that word? You say carpet tree. What is the first thing you think of? You think of a fucking rug like I got in my house right now laying on my floor. This is carpentry. This is laying down a rug, sheepskin, wool, bear, whatever the fuck you want to lay on your floor.
I thought about a car. You said carpentry. The first thing that came in my mind was car. Shit, that's the first word.
Well, I mean, what is this the first thing? Having rugs on the floor of a car. Let's go deeper then. He thought about a car. What existed first now? Let's answer that question. What existed first? Laying fur on your floor or a car? Laying fur on your floor existed since the beginning of time.
Different types of vehicles.
A vehicle didn't exist. But Indians in tents and huts used to lay buffalo on their floor, which was a form of what?
Can carpentry be built in the house too? Can that be built in the house out of wood? Yeah, that's carpentry, ain't it?
What I'm saying is carpentry can only take place in a house. In a house, it can take place in a tent. No, let me correct myself because I'm saying it wrong. You brothers are right. It can take place in a tent. It can take place in a hut. But the main principle of carpentry is to take place in a house. It's building walls, laying drywall, smoothing shit out to live in a box. Now, once we go past that shit and we understand that the only thing that you need to build a house or any type of sustainable shelter over your head is masonry, then you understand that carpentry was something that they added to the equation to confuse you.
What would be the difference between if I'm living off the land and I use the word masonry? What's the difference of me building? What would I build using the term masonry?
The only difference between masonry and carpentry would be that you're taking natural substances from the earth, wood, timber, soil, whatever you build your shit out of. You know what I'm saying? It's coming from the earth. You're not mixing no cement. You're not leaning no drywall or none of that. You're just taking natural elements from the earth and you're building. When you do carpentry, you're missing cement. You're laying drywall. You're goddamn it building a more how can I explain it? You're building a more relative term of living, which is a house. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to build a house to live. The pyramids didn't have carpentry. All the pyramids had was masonry.
Imhotep was an architect. So Imhotep was an architect, though. Is that the same?
They deal with masonry too, though, right? They houses were made out of stone. The little huts they stayed in, made out of clay, whatever.
Once again, they took that clay and they molded those stones from hand. They didn't go cut no shit out. They didn't mix no chemical. They took that shit straight from out of the sand, the earth, and they molded it with their hand by adding water to it. There's a difference. Do you brothers see?
And they let it dry. Right. No.
What I'm saying, not facts.
That they did that? I don't know how they did it. I can say I don't know what they used or didn't use. I know, again, all the information that we're speaking about is still taught from America. We have
okay.
So when it all boils, no. What I'm saying, I can't say. I'm unable to say yes or no, maybe so to those type of things because again, it's terminology used from America. I understand that we're in America. We got to use their language because we were taught that we don't know our own language. But so carpentry, masonry, all that. Again, I don't know. I'll be first to. I don't know, and that's one thing I'm not gonna. I don't know how or what they added to. I know they didn't use the regular stuff that they use today. I knew.
Well, I'm saying that I knew that they had knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and they applied water to sand that makes clay, and that's how they built the pyramids. From knowing science and mathematics, I know this.
So watch this. Now hold on. So just water and clay.
Huh?
So just water and clay.
Which forms brick basically. No. And clay is what brick is made out of. Yes, sir.
Okay, I get that. But if that's the case, then why is it that we ain't teaching our kids that? Or youth? I'm going back to them.
Because we sending them to their schools. Why we not teaching them?
It ain't. Okay.
Why are we not telling them this? Why are we sending them to a white man's education to get educated? Why do you have to go to Harvard? Why do you have to go to Yale?
That ain't got nothing to do with it. We focus on I think we're focusing on the wrong stuff. Yeah, okay, they going to Harvard, but if you got, like you said, one that's willing to receive, and you tell them, when you know you could at least show them, hey, you know you could, to spark the interest enough to even want to not go to that damn school or not want to go, give them a reason to not, or to say, you know what Uncle saying, I don't want to go to, I can do this because my uncle, or my family, or my friend, or the person down the block, Mike, or that dog, Chuck showed me or told me it's possible. They didn't just tell me. Chuck showed me how that works out.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's why I said that when I told you earlier, I was like, I failed, and you was like, you didn't fail, brother. You doing what you're supposed to be doing. But then I failed because I only gave them a little bit of the message. We got to give them the whole message. You know what I'm saying?
That ain't got nothing to do with us, because if you telling us the whole message, you should have gave it to them in the first place.
I have given it to some of them. And whether they received it or not, they took it or they left it alone. But then in order for that, you know what I'm saying, to give it to them properly, they would have to study the same principles that I studied. And it took me years of studying to understand this shit, man. Like, I had to study for years.
Hey,
so what I'm saying is, I need them from the time that they from the baby.
Why we can't just make it easy to live life on life terms and man our business? Why we just can't do that?
What's that?
I can't do it, God, because they terms ain't my terms. I'll never submit to that.
Anyway,
I'll never submit to that.
Fuck where you go, to the woods or whatever, you're gonna have to come to the store. I bet I see your ass at Walmart.
You lying?
He
talking
said
about
no.
lying.
He said he
You're
going to. Hey,
lying,
no,
God.
he gonna grow his
still
plant.
God,
got,
you
God
told a
said,
you
lie
still,
to
I
me.
don't get no fuck.
You said if
Just
you
I'm
go
going
to the
to an
woods,
apartment
you're
or
gonna
going
have
to
to
a
be in
house, then you going
Walmart.
to the woods.
That is not true, God. You can Google motherfuckers that been living off the motherfucking off the you
don't
can
say it.
Google
Don't say it.
motherfuckers that been living off the grid for the longest.
So
And you know
therefore,
what I'm saying?
so you
They
are admitting.
survived.
So you are admitting that
Huh?
that's already doing what you saying, right?
Hey, I'm smart enough
Yes,
not to
but
even
I'm
put
saying
myself in
that
no
it's just
position
a
like that. Cause
few. Are
I'm
we
smart
talking
enough
about
to
the
get out.
majority? They're
I
not
wouldn't
gonna
even
let
put
the
myself in
majority
that
do that.
position because I'm
It's
too
a
Man,
smart
few
I'm
for
a,
that shit.
motherfuckers that's doing that.
hey,
They're
I'm
not
A
finna,
gonna
smart
let the
man ain't gonna
majority
do
do
that.
it.
he gonna
They
keep
need
saying, right?
people to run their companies.
A smart
They
Now
man
need
ain't
listen,
gonna
people
have
to
to do
work in
that.
their companies.
listen. This
They
the
not
thing right
strong
here.
enough to run their company.
Watch
You
this.
know,
Watch. I'm gonna tell you how powerful we is, and people don't even notice this. How long have we been on this podcast?
we've been on here
I
for a
want
while,
to
like
Shit.
going on 3
About 3
hours.
hours.
going on 3 hours,
1 minute.
right? Now watch this. Now watch this, Mike. In your with the window open a little bit, I seen you had somebody walk behind you, right? A couple of
Yeah,
times.
the kid.
Okay. I'm looking. I could tell now that Chuck laid back a little bit, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now watch this. I'm saying all that to say this. This is how powerful, and this is what we keep losing ourselves. We've been on this podcast for damn near 3 hours. It's 2:59 on the live where I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Well, actually
It's
3 hours
3
right
on
now.
the dot now.
3 on the dot. Now, within that time, the conversation and everything from God dog, whatever we talking about, from inner self to people, whatever, has been focused and attentive to us. The moment has been on us. It ain't been we ain't worried about. The only reason anybody or anything outside of ourselves is getting any attention is because we're bringing them up. So this is how powerful we are. So imagine if when if 1,000 of us was in the same mindset, in the same moment, doing the same thing, building on the same project, but we powerful. This is what they're afraid of. This is what the
Exactly.
So when we say, hold on, watch this. Now, when we say we didn't just took what was the circle, cracked it, and invited the motherfucker in. That ain't got nothing to do with what we were trying to do.
Exactly.
Well, by using their platform, we've been inviting them. They probably
No,
listening to us right now. We
that's
on
true.
Facebook and
But that's
streaming
true.
media
See,
and shit like that.
if
We
you,
using their platform.
that's true.
Hey,
And
yeah.
again, we didn't address that until now, though. Some of us might have been thinking it, but if we were thinking it, we may not have been thinking it. But the case we didn't worry. We didn't think about that until you just brought that up. Like, man, we on their platform. I say that often. All these are their platforms. They want people to be in on the phones, but until people learn to connect again, they're gonna be on phones. I get it. But podcast.
And didn't I say this earlier? Didn't I say when I wanted to see my brother, I come speak to you face to face? Did I not make that statement? That's the way it's supposed to be. Fuck this phone. If you love me and you really want to talk to me, come walk your ass these miles and come see me in my hut. That's the way it's supposed to be done.
But then again, podcasts. Now look, podcasts are the fact that this exists, this podcast and any other podcast, it was supposed to happen, bro. That's why it became an idea to somebody else. It may not, in my opinion, it happened too fast. It's like people got to a point. I was shown a vision one time. I was sitting, it was all of us. We were all one nation. We were all, let's say we were created first. We had a one way of life. And then there was this itchy person or itchy entity within our tribe who learned the traits. It's like what was his name? In the Jedi, and Luke Skywalker in the Jedi, when
Darth Vader.
Anakin or Darth Vader, they felt that they wanted to learn or they were ready when they were not ready. And what they did, because of that impatience, it caused them to become the villain. That's what I think happened with us. There was a group of us who saw, or one of us who saw something was able to be done. They learned it and they said, man, we could do this overnight. Or they went to one or two people, we could do this. And that person was like, no, we got to keep it to the law. We got to stick to the law. We got to do this. We got to do this. And then that person got real frustrated until he or she or it found a way to convince somebody we can do this overnight. And it was supposed to be done. It was going to happen, but it wasn't supposed to be done overnight. So all the stuff you see as far as houses and cars, money and whatever the case, it was supposed to happen. In my opinion, it was supposed to happen, but at a certain time.
Was supposed to happen.
Right, but earlier you said you made it like it, so it's not bad. It's not bad.
No,
It's a
no, no.
matter of
It's bad. It's bad. It's
it's how
bad.
people
And I can
use
break that
it's
down on why it's
no,
bad. It
it's
was
how people
supposed to
use it.
happen. Just because it was supposed to happen don't mean it is not bad.
No, it's not. It's nothing on this planet is bad. It's how we use it and what we use it for. So I can have a house and move 15 people in who need homelessness.
I'm
I can have a
just
car.
saying from
I can have a car and make sure everybody, goddamn it, get to another land or to
this is
move.
this is what I'm saying. It was supposed to happen because they made it happen. If it wasn't supposed to happen, then cars wouldn't exist. But what I'm saying is we never needed none of that. We allowed them to do these type of things. This planet don't need no goddamn
Where did
car.
the idea
We
come
got
from?
horses, we
What
got
are we gonna do
camels,
about it today, though?
we got natural beings that can take you just as far as a car without emitting gasoline or fuels into the ecosystem. See, you got to think on a big
They
scale,
built
science.
cars with
You a
water.
science.
They
You know what I'm saying?
built the cars
So
with water.
huh?
They built the cars with water.
We
Go
got
up and down and say that.
we got boats. A boat can take you where you need to go. A horse can
True.
take you where you need to go.
Yeah.
A camel can take you where you need to go. Dogs on sleds can take you where you need to
Right.
go. Okay, so why do we use a car? Something that's fucking up our ecosystem, which is another reason why we don't live as long as we used to live. People back in the day used to live to be 400. See, I think
Who's to
about the
say?
big picture when I apply science and math. Yes, it
Who's
was
to say?
supposed to happen, but
Now
are we
this is
supposed to keep
hypothetical.
it that way?
This is hypothetical. Who's to say we was not able to use? Who's to say we wasn't gonna have cars, but in a natural way? They say they just what did they say? Somebody created a car off water or something like that. It's a lot of things being created now,
Yeah.
so-called being created now out of natural resources.
Yeah,
So in my
God,
opinion,
this
it's
is what
supposed
I'm
to
saying
happen
to
with
you.
natural resources.
right.
God,
But anyway,
this is what I'm saying to
the
you.
world is evolving,
A
man. You
car
want to
can
stay in
run
the
off
same
that.
place, though? You want to do the same
No,
stuff?
no. What
Even
I'm
though
saying
our
is a
mind is
car.
gradually growing and imagining and creating things in our mind that making shit
Okay.
work and shit, you still want to stay away
We got,
back in the past
no,
with
we gotta
wood
apply
houses in the
things to
wood
the
and
right
shit?
principle. No,
Come on,
God, we
man.
gotta apply it to the right principle. See,
But the
because y'all
problem
keep
is
skipping
right
steps.
now. The
I'm
problem
thinking
is
about
right now.
everything as science and
Let me tell
math,
you,
right?
look,
So even
check
if
this
you
out.
got a car that runs
Okay.
off hydropower, there's still parts that need to be melted. There's still steel that needs to be burned. They're still fucking up the ecosystem. What I'm saying is, it's not a natural state of traveling. A car is not a natural state of traveling. We used to travel on foot. We used to travel on horse.
Absolutely,
We used
I
to
agree.
travel on camel. We used
We
to travel
used
on
to.
boat.
You saying use? That's old.
Yeah, but that's what we got to get back to. Ain't no such thing
Why?
as God. It's a right way and the wrong way. You still burning steel to make these motherfucking monstrosities made out of mechanics, and you're still fucking up the ozone layer. You're still fucking up
They
the
finna
ecosystem.
get
You're
rid of the
still
motors, ain't they?
you're still fucking up the Earth's climate. You're heating it.
Everything
That's why
finna
y'all
be
niggas got
battery
summertime
powered, right?
in Chicago. Huh? Yeah, you're
Ain't it?
still burning acid for battery power. You're still fucking up when you just could have had a horse, and the horse would have took you the same distance. It might have took longer, and he would have shitted, and he would have ate, he would have been your companion, something with a soul. You would have still got to where you wanted to get eventually, maybe not as fast, but
Hey,
you
I
would have
can-
still got
hey,
there, nigga,
I see people
without
parking
fucking
their
up the
horses
world.
downtown and shit.
You would have still got to where you needed to get without the world.
Without
Without
the
fucking
who?
up the world.
Hey,
This is what
look,
I'm
hey,
saying.
hey.
You never know, bro. You never know. You don't know what
Hey.
would have been put on that man's heart. We don't know what would have been put on our heart to operate. We know what we got ourselves into. We don't know how it would have unfolded, bro. That's
Ain't
the
no
problem. We
we
don't know.
in that shit. I know what they got us into, but I didn't get myself into this shit. I didn't
I
do
understand
this.
that. That's what
So
I said.
don't put that on me.
No, what
I
I'm
didn't say
saying is,
this the
I'm
way
not,
we're
again,
supposed to live.
this the thing. This the thing. When you hear me, if you listen to me, I'm not even worried about them shit. Honestly, I'm not, bro. That's not a
I'm just
concern.
asking him. You know what I'm saying, Chuck? Can you living an outright life, man? What you complaining about?
I'm not concerned about
Man,
that.
Why you so
man,
mad and
I'm worried
uptight and
about
stuff?
goddamn it. Shit,
I
get my
just want to know why you so mad
Mike,
and uptight and you living well, man. You doing good.
Mike, let me just explain this to you. You know what I'm saying? And this is from my perspective again. You're my big brother. I love you dearly. I got respect for science too. Y'all brothers introduce us, but let me just explain this to you. Look around. Just because I live in this big ass motherfucking house and I drive these cars and all of that shit, and I make X amount of money a year, does not mean I'm successful. To myself, I know this. It does
Okay,
not mean
okay.
I'm
So who to
successful.
blame?
It
Who
just
to blame?
means that I'm playing.
So
No, it
right there,
just
cut
means
it.
that
Who to
I'm
blame?
playing a game that I
Why?
have to
Why
play.
you not successful? Who holding you back? Who holding you back?
No, I'm not, God, because at the end of the
Who
day,
holding
if
you
you knew
back
my
though?
true
Let's
character,
answer that question. Who holding you back?
nobody's holding me back,
No,
brother.
no,
But
no.
you, right?
Nobody's
But
holding
you,
me back. No,
you the
I'm not
only
even
person
holding
can hold you
myself
back.
back.
You
I'm
the only
not
person
holding
that can
myself
hold
back,
No,
yourself.
God. You want to know
hold
why?
on.
Because
Let
I'm
me ask
still
you.
surrounded
You
by
the only
all of this,
person that
but
can
my
hold
mind
yourself
and my
back.
spirit is free. I'm not holding myself back
You can
because
have
I'm still
No,
you
surrounded
can
by this
have
in
much
the
more than that
physical,
big house
but
and
my
those cars.
mind and my spirit
Chuck,
is
Chuck,
still free.
Chuck. I want to know why do you say you're not though? If you're not, then
I'm
why
not.
not? Why not though?
Let me tell you why I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not complaining about shit. I'm just playing a game that I have to play because I know that I
Why you
have to
said
play
you had
this
to play
game.
that? Who told you had to play that game?
The world, god damn it, I can't just
You
okay.
think
So
right
Ain't the
though.
right now,
world.
let
You
me just
so
go over here. Let me walk
you looking
outside
for
and say
some
this is my
validation
land.
of how you act as a
No,
person, as a self-preservation. You know what I'm saying? You looking
no,
for the world to validate.
God, I
You know
just
what
did
I'm
what I
saying?
had to do for my family to
But
live
why
peacefully
you
because I
so
knew
mad? Why
we.
you know you got a
I'm
beautiful
not
wife
mad.
and
I'm just
wife and
accepting.
all
I'm
that
just
type of
playing
stuff,
the game.
and you study. You know what I'm talking about? You
God,
practicing something else and not, you know what I'm saying, really
But
uplifting
God,
you up. You know, you supposed to be
listen.
showing the kids how you making it to that big house and driving them big cars and stuff. But you
No, I'm
you
not. I'm
steering them in
supposed to
a
be showing them
different
a better way
direction,
of
you
life.
know?
now
This is the wrong way of life.
I agree with Chuck. Hey, now that is true. The
I
big
was supposed
cars
to be
is
showing them a better way
that's
of
second,
life.
right? That's secondary. That big car stuff, that's secondary. Because
Yeah.
again, what we need, what everybody needs. I'm talking about everybody. One,
Everybody.
Everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
everybody needs that inner peace, that inner, like you said, that knowing of self, that inner self, knowing that
The inner
knowledge, that
self.
knowledge thereof. But the main thing we need, and I don't think we all talk, we always beating around the bush, get your money. Instead, that's why a lot of people who are like in our relationships, they're broken because we don't we don't know ourselves enough to know that goddamn it how to attract the king that we want or the queen that we want. You see what I'm saying? So it's what's crazy. It gives me. I often say this with the women, right? I thought this was when I ain't saying with the women, but I often thought it, and I'm writing a book on it. Women tend to say, and this is not so if there's any women on this line, let's know it's not an attack about the situation. Women tend to say they always got something going, like they didn't accomplish this. Women have a good amount of accomplishments of cars, this raising the kids a certain way,
Yeah.
whatever the case. Take care. So women have that, and I often been I was it brought to my attention one day, not our people, but just a thought. Well, I said, if that be the case, why is it so hard for our women to attract the very king they want in their life? They can attract everything else, houses, six figures, taking care of the
All
kids.
that. Because they want them.
They know the red flags. But why is it difficult? What is stopping them from being able to attract the very man that they want to see, make them feel a certain way? Now,
Man, God, you hit it.
I know why. I know why.
I know why.
But right, you
I
know
do
why.
too.
The thing
I do too.
is, with everybody's learning everybody's learning on the outside. Everybody needs to learn because we have been went through something, except those who feel and not because they feel like they're okay with the matrix. They took their route. I'm gone. I'm gonna teach my kids how to live within the system. That's cool. I'm not knocking them for that shit. I'm not even trying to say to people they chose that route. Do you? Just don't bother me. I don't care what you do. But for those of us that want to live on off the land or natural, or goddamn it, have how to be able to fight off high blood pressure, how to be able to goddamn it do the things doctor say, not just the few that's on the internet and we got to get online and do it. I'm talking about being able to connect with these people or being able to track the people in our lives that's on the far out because we in a certain area that's like considered the environment that's not right for us. We attracting those people in such a way, whether we moving or we just meeting them like a needle in the haystack. So
Yes,
what we
sir.
do. I'm thinking we focus too much on what's happening outside instead of what do I need to heal? What do I need to not be so doubtful? What do I need to be more courageous? What do I need? How do I do that? And then it's so messed up. The social media's got so locked. People will not deal with other people or not go outside or deal with the world on the outs because they've been hurt so bad. They feel protecting themselves to staying away from people, not knowing God, the universe, whatever you choose to call it, can only grow you if he can go through. You got to go through something. So therefore, even though you're aware, even though I'm aware or you're aware or that person is aware of somebody that didn't deceive them or try to trick them or try to stab them in the back, now they stay away from them for distance, still they have to live their life in order to get the things they need in order to better their lives. But yet we've been taught to, I don't really do too much. I don't really like people. I don't deal with people. I don't do this. That's okay if you don't. But you still got to connect in order to grow because connection is the growth.
Hell yeah. And you hit it on the head when you said why our women keep attracting the wrong man, because they're not basing the principles off of attracting the right man. And when I said it sounded like white, but I meant right. They're not basing off of attracting the right man off the right principles. They looking at the nigga driving in the Benz, the nigga in the Maserati, the nigga that got this, the nigga that got that. They're basing it off of finances now. They're not looking like when our ancestors lived in shacks together and they was getting their ass beat every goddamn day for 500 years of slavery and they still loved each other. That was true love.
You know what? I believe that we taught them how to do that though. Men taught women, because again, we're the lead. We are the head of the household. This is what the Bible said. This is what a lot of the, even though women are the more spiritual connection to the universe, we are the head. Yeah, we are the lead, right? Now what's crazy is that we taught that. Now, I was looking at a couple of things based off some videos and some stuff I've seen. And one of the things I've seen, what I noticed is that way back when I was watching slavery, it started coming to my remembrance because I don't watch that slavery shit no more. But when I was looking at it, I noticed that in one of the TV shows, documentaries I seen, a sister, I think it was Nikki Giovanni, and I forgot that brother name, and they was talking. And she was asking him, why did he come home? I forgot his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She asked him, why did he come home? When he come home, why does he bring the problems and fuss at her instead of telling the boss, the white man, how he feel? So now, if a man, to me, do we not say that we showed them women how to start thinking, well, okay, well, I'm finna start doing me. I'm finna get money too. Is because when the woman wanted to be natural for us, and the problems that we were bringing home, we was kind of pushing her, making like it's all about this. We got to do it this way. We got to do it that way. And she wasn't considered. So now, because the homes are being broken up, she starts saying, well, shit, I got to do it for my damn. So they making it easy for me. So let me go and do it for my damn self. It was like he doing it. He's showing me this is what we need to do. So eventually by him showing me what we need to do, I'm just going to follow his lead. He, goddamn it, kind of denied me and I really couldn't understand where I'm coming from. So I'm going to deny him and I see where he come. Not purposely, but it was a natural reaction. They follow us. Women follow the lead, bro. Women follow the lead.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they started with breaking us first, because most of the problems we was coming home with wasn't even problems. They was ours naturally. Those were not natural problems.
It wasn't our natural problems
that was created for them.
It wasn't our natural problems.
It was not our natural problems. We coming home talking about the boss and the hard day at work. That wasn't our natural problems.
It's our issue now to make sure it's our issue now. It's not our concern, but if you got most people just deal with their own kids and their own family. That's how it's been now. This was happening. I'm just gonna focus on my family. I'm gonna get my family right. That's what most people. That's
why kids fucked up. It take a village.
And I agree. But again, it goes back to like you said earlier. You've been saying. You have not really did anything because it's going to take, you say, I can't do it without people.
I can't do it without my brothers and sisters by my side. Like I can live this life, but the whole world will continue on living this false reality unless they come live the same life with me. And I can't make them go do that.
No, I'm confused to why you're saying you can't do something because nobody, and you don't even, again, you haven't started enough to get your, as my sister calls it, your tribe, the people that's going to rock with you. You got to, if you know there's an issue, right, with a vehicle, You're the person who has knowledge that there's an issue with a vehicle. You said, I know most people don't want to accept it, but I know it's the car fucked up. It is your duty to go fix that car before it hurts somebody. Now, who gonna come with you? Who gonna come with you and say, man, I know about this part. Don't worry about it. I got you, bro. Or are you mingling and mingling with people until what you been doing, man? I've been working on that car. Man, you know what? I'm gonna come over there today and help you out, man. I like brothers that do that. But if you're not doing it, you can't meet them people. You're not gonna meet them
where
people.
my level of consciousness betrayed me in that aspect, because when I'm saying you know what I'm saying, I done made it past my ego to the point where I believe you, me, and him is the same.
Okay.
So when I see brothers doing shit that I don't approve of, I don't think, look at this ignorant ass nigga doing some dumb ass shit. I don't think that no more. I think to myself, what would make myself do something like that? What would make myself behave in this type of manner? You know what I'm saying? That's why now I'm not so quick to try to harm my brothers no more, because I ask myself, once again, there's that word self, what would make myself like this? You know what I'm saying? I don't see no Chunk Kane. I don't see no Mike. I don't see no Science. All I see is arm, leg, arm, head. We all the same, a body. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be the leg. Somebody got to be the right leg. Somebody got to be the left leg. Somebody got to be the right arm. Somebody got to be the left arm. Somebody got to be the torso. Somebody got to be the neck. Somebody got to be the nose. Somebody got to be the ears. Somebody got to be, you know, every aspect of our body. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I meant when I said everybody got to play their role to make that body. So when I say that, and I'm steady saying I can't do this, I can do it individually, but I'm saying it in the wrong context. Because when I'm saying I mean all of us together. Like, I mean, my goal should be to make all of us understand this together. You see how I just explained that? Somebody got to be the left leg. Somebody got to be the right leg. Somebody got to be the left arm. Somebody got to be the right arm. Somebody got to be the torso. Somebody got to be the lungs. Somebody got to be the heart. Somebody got to be the ribs. Somebody got to be the brain. Somebody got to be the nose. We need to smell here. We need all of that.
But
so
you got to put your part in first.
Yeah, my part is what I told you. My part is to be the pineal gland. I got the pineal gland. You know what I'm saying? My part is that. I got the heart of a warrior. You know, even though I got science and mathematics too, it's not necessarily for me. You know what I'm saying? Just because I learned it, don't mean that I had the fullest capability of teaching it. Like somebody like you or Mike might have a way full. You can know less. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you do. I'm not, saying that. I'm just saying that you might have the ability. We all have different traits and abilities. That's something that we forgot about too as a people. We got different traits and abilities to allow us to be more successful in certain different type of ways. You might be a better teacher. I might be a better teacher of war. You might be a better teacher of math. He might be a better teacher of science. He might be a better teacher of media. You know what I'm saying? We got to all play them parts to be successful, man, in what we facing in the future. You know what I'm saying? Where all our people is listening to us have these type of conversations. This is what we got to understand. We got to put the ego aside and say, look, I'm the heart.
Man. Why I got to be media?
I'm just using that as an example, God. That's not saying as a reference.
Right, man.
Yeah, I'm just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? This is I'm just using that as an example to say that we all got certain talents and abilities. Y'all all know this. Like, we all had a certain talent when we was growing up that maybe that talent was a little bit deeper, where this brother might have had a different talent and his tire was deeper than yours on your talent. But we all exceed at one aspect. You know what I'm saying? And until we can learn to put our egos aside and just work in the body like we supposed to be. Let me be the lungs because I breathe good. Let me be the eyes because I see good. Let me be the pineal gland because I think good. Let me be the brain because I understand things. Then we won't be successful. And that's how we change it. We got to learn to teach the children to play their parts so that they can form that body.
Yeah, man.
Ain't that deep? Ain't that some deep shit?
Yeah,
ain't that some deep shit we're thinking?
What it tells me is, it tells me that's you, man. That's you right there in living color, brother. Yourself.
What?
That's what that tells me. It don't got nothing to do with nobody else, man. It's the things that you can do. You got all that. You equipped, my brother. So you know what I'm saying, and you unstoppable. You don't need to be validated. You don't need nobody else consent or nothing like that. Whatever you choose to do, you do it. That's what it said. That's what it gave me. It don't got nothing to do with nobody else. No kids, no nothing. Cause you know what I'm saying, you the reflection. You know what I'm saying? The kids are watching. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They the future.
You is
I'm
what
the
they take
past.
on to. If
You
you're gonna
gotta
go out
equip
there
the
and be a
future.
bad person and be with hate and shit, that's how the kids gonna be. But if you're a person that's building and creating and showing a motherfucker a better life, they gonna build a better house when they get big.
And you ain't no past, man. You still above water. You ain't no past. You still above water. You present with me right now, so I don't see how you the past. Because I don't know
I'm
past.
just saying,
Shit.
I'm getting old. Shit, we all aging. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is this: I can know what I know, but I need my brothers and my sisters to pass on that knowledge too. I just can't pass it myself. We got to work as a unit to
Why?
raise
Look at
this next
me.
generation.
Tell myself, look, I started a little podcast and shit. What you doing to put your best foot forward back
Hey,
then?
bro. Hey, bro.
You feel
This
me?
ain't no little podcast.
You know what I'm saying?
You
It's
know
for
what I
the
said?
community. You know what I'm saying? This our stuff. I'm just a narrator all the time. But you know, it's other seats at the table, man.
You heard
You
what I
know.
said, bro?
What you say,
Mike,
Science?
this ain't no look podcast, bro.
Why you say
Yeah,
Because you're going to talk
yeah.
about
He
my
steady
little
talking.
podcast. This ain't no look
Now you see how
podcast,
he
bro.
doubt himself. Like he told
Mhm.
me, I doubt myself. Look at
Don't worry.
how we are with
You know what?
ourselves. We doubt ourselves when it comes to
Look,
this shit.
they put erasers on pencils so you can correct your mistakes. So let me
Right. Now
correct
say
my
that.
mistake.
Correct
This
that
big
motherfucker mistake.
podcast, God damn it.
Correction.
My man.
Hey, these folks,
Right. We ain't
big
on no look
podcast
podcast,
all the
bro.
time. Hey, that's love. That's love. That's love. And that's the way we lift
Right.
each other up. That's love. Be the best that you can be, man. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna lift you up. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
If that's all we can do to a person. Now, you know what I'm saying? With the nonprofits and stuff, when things get to come, man, we can do a little more for people and let them know, man, these guys for real, man, about getting together.
Yep.
Come on, let's go on and volunteer and do this and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And man,
yeah.
let it spread.
That's for
I
sure,
think we
brother.
all playing our part. I think we all playing our part subconsciously because we can't help but to play our part. Like Son said, he got the classes coming up for the shorties where he take 10 youths. Am I right? Did you say 10 youths?
10 mil you, bro. Got dog it.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
said
gonna
he
be.
take 10 male
Yep.
youths where he doing that. You got the podcast going, and you know
Look,
what
that's
I'm
what I
saying?
told people.
And
Hey,
I'm just
that
speaking
was
the
my
truth.
plan.
So I think
That's,
we all playing our part
Yep.
subconsciously. You know what I'm saying?
so what would you want to
And whether
do,
we,
Chuck? What would you want to do? What you
huh?
want a karate? What you want a self-defense classroom or something like
Right,
that?
my
You want to
man.
teach how to defense and moves and
I
shit
ain't
like that?
teaching
How
no
to get out.
MMA, man. Even though I know MMA, I ain't teaching that, man.
You the
What I
warrior. You the warrior out of us, though. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna teach them? How
nah,
to defend themselves and stuff like that? And what
man,
you gonna teach in their
nah,
class?
man, it goes deeper than that. I just want to, man, if I was going to teach something, it'd be knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that they could find peace in themselves. And it's not just like y'all said, y'all corrected me when I was wrong. It's just not about fighting. It's what you do and how you do it. It's knowing when to fight and when
Right.
not to. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I could be as much as a warrior as I want to, but shit, you got to know when to fight and when not to, when to walk away. You know what I'm saying? And then this is something that takes a village. It takes a village to raise. Like we all sitting together, we sitting at the table having this podcast and people listening and all of that stuff. It takes a village to know that. Because when I'm off of my square, who do I need? My brother to pick me up and be like, hey, bro, you kind of, you little aggressive or you fucked up right now. You need to go sleep it off. It takes all of us, man. And that's what I mean when I say I can't do it by myself. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that I can't do it by myself. Myself individually can go do that shit right now because I got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But it's not myself if y'all not with me because we the same.
You're a reflector, though. You should be able to do that yourself by you being who you are.
I
You
do
like
want
a
to.
reflector. You know, once you're doing something good and shit like that, people gonna see that, and you got people that's involved in the same shit that you're doing. You just started off. They ain't never had nowhere. You was like they was at first, didn't know where to start. But if they see you doing shit like that, and they like, yeah, I'm finna go.
Now I get it. I do say this. It's sometimes, man. I don't care what if people on here. The way this world set up, bro. The way they got the system set up, we look at each other. Because I've been told plenty of times, man, back in the days, I've been told, You know what you're doing. I'll be like, no, I don't. You know what the fuck you doing. You wrong. I don't get it. I swear I don't know what the fuck I swear I don't know. I said, I see it. I see multiple motherfuckers doing something, but I said, my spirit saying, hey, everybody got a different opinion. Now I got to dictate which one is right, which one is not right, and which one is wrong, and all that good shit. So most people don't know how to like. I got a buddy. He's considered a street therapist, but the man knows he's good at what he do. He's another person. He worked with the youth. I met him working with youth, but he also good at working with adults, such as myself. But the man cold-blooded, bro. So, I promote him when I do my ground level marketing. Okay. And then my thing is this: the man, he has sometimes he has it where he's stuck. We all he's intelligent to the point. My mother thought he was a white boy because he talks so fucking good. When I finally get a chance to get him on this podcast, I'm gonna get him on this podcast so y'all get a chance to meet him. But even him, my man,
I need therapy. Shit.
Oh no, serious, bro. The man.
I'm good. Getting serious, bro. I need therapy. God damn it.
That man good than the month, and he got like clout as far as like what they call it, a stat. So people to say, yeah, man, yeah, dude, he does his job like. He on my YouTube page.
He got good references.
Right, he got good references. He got good references, bro. And he just a regular, like he see like a white boy, but he wears chains, he's like a big black. And you'll be like, damn, bro, I thought you was one of them yeah, one of them guys. One of them. So he's looking like, no, I wasn't expecting that motherfucker walk out of the thing. But overall, what I'm saying is we all at a point we don't know what to do and how to do it. Because I ain't gonna lie, I used to be like, man, I used to try to convince all my associates how we can do things together. And I seen that trying to convince them, it's not that they don't want to do it. They're afraid to do their own shit. They don't even do their own shit. Like certain things they don't do. But they're afraid to do their own shit. And I've learned to other people. Like I mentor, or I was mentor, or considering myself life coaching two people over here. And both of them, one couldn't read. It's a dude. One couldn't. Matter of fact, I did two guys that couldn't read. So I peeped that out. I said, this is why they keep denying certain things, because they are unable to read. Now, the young lady, she got dogged, had a past that had her so tight, she was challenged by her past. So she would always allow that to not let her move a little forward. See, and like I said, the universe put me in a state where now I often talk to people, why do you feel that way? Where did that thought come from? Because my goal is like you say, it's in the piece, in the self. How do I get to you to start thinking like, well, why the fuck do I doubt me? Why do I say I'm not great?
That's my problem. Shit.
So the whole thing is, but again, that would have to be what puts us in a state of doubting ourselves? What happened? Now, you ain't got to tell us on this podcast, or anybody that's listening on this podcast, ask yourself, why do you feel that way? What if you're afraid? Why am I afraid? If you doubt some shit, why do you doubt it? If you ask yourself them questions and you trust that you're going to get the answer, because you're going to get it. It's going to come to you. And that's what I also want people to get. We always talk about living off the land, getting back to our natural state. In order to get back to our natural state, we must learn the language. What was our language? What was the language that I spoke, or the universe? How do I understand the universe when the universe is speaking to me? For me, right? Right. I start honing in on my instincts. So I tell myself every time, I don't want to learn nothing else.
You gotta tune back in with them frequencies, brain frequencies, man.
Right. But you gotta understand, you gotta get, in order to tune back in, you gotta first know what the fuck you tuning in to. You gotta know your language. So the goal is, how do I get back to that? So like for me, I notice little shit that happened, and I start seeing it happens so often, I start paying attention to it. So for instance, I'll be on my daily, I'll be doing something on a daily basis. The universe always made me to a point, a bus pass will pop out to me. Instead of me saying, that ain't shit, I would go with that thought, pick the bus pass up. And it started off like this. Every time I picked the bus pass up and I checked it, it was empty. Okay. But that feeling, that moment, it was like, why do I keep doing it? And it happens every so often to a point, it makes me pick the card up. And then once the universe seen I was trained enough to say, okay, he goes along with the way I make him feel. Now I'm getting that motherfucker, and every time I pick a bus pass up, it's something on it. every time. Never fails. I've actually manifested $10,000 twice. I've actually mentioned a sex experience twice.
Dang.
Sex experience, like literally telling the universe, you know what, bro?
That's your brain frequencies, man. Like I told you, when you think a certain thing, the brain is a computer. You got to remember that brain put out frequencies. So if you could think them frequencies out, then you can have the ability to manifest that shit.
So I'm
And you
saying
just
that to
gave the
say,
perfect
right?
example.
I know that I'm learning that, or I know that now. But my thing is, I used to play this game with, and y'all should try this with y'all family, man. Pick 5 colors. Train yourself. Pick 5 colors. I just use only 5, but pick 5 colors. Sit with your a family member, a son, a daughter, a wife, whatever. Get them to sit with you. Sit facing each other in a pharaoh sit. How they stand with their hand on their lap. Sit like
Yes,
that,
sir. Meditation.
facing each other, looking at each other. Then you pick the person that's going to be the receiver or the giver. So the receiver is going to be the person who's going to be able to tell the person what their color is, and then the giver is going to be the one that's emitting the color off on the person. So if I pick 5 colors and then I say I'm gonna pick green, but I'm not gonna tell the person that's on the outside of me. And if it's somebody that's bear witness, I'm gonna say that person gonna tell the other person, "Hey, I pick green." And y'all sit there and y'all facing each other, out of eye contact, and you feel, and in your mind, you saying green, 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 and you visualizing that green around a person. I'm like, you literally picturing them with green around them. If that person
That's
is,
the way
as
we
long as that
used to
person is
speak.
patient, hold on. As long as that person is patient, and when they are centered within that click moment, it's gonna flash green. They're gonna be like, you pick green. They'll be able to tell you what your color is. I did this with
Didn't I
kids
just
a
tell
lot
you
of
that's
times.
the language we spoke, though? You just gave the perfect example when I told you the
I
language we used to spoke. Didn't I
get that,
just used to
bro.
say?
I'm not saying that to make you not to be right or wrong. I'm saying this is something
Yeah,
to try it, because everybody can agree
I'm
that
too
we
easy
have this
though.
power. Doing it is the thing for
They
me.
don't know what color I picked. They gonna be like red.
Right. But, I mean, but see, because your
They don't
color,
know.
because your color.
Yeah, you know it. Shit, they gonna be
Because
like
see,
red.
right, but see that, but then again, don't limit yourself by saying my favorite color is red. This is
It is shit. I'd be
I
lying if I
know it.
said it wasn't, guy.
I'm saying I know it is, but the goal is to train your mind so that you can start raising your frequency. Your mind can start learning its language, because that's the language is not going to change. It's going to always be this certain type of feeling. Lately, I've been having this experience where, bro, I see the future. Like I literally, and I know it's this is.
It's a thing, man. It's a thing. Like I was telling my brother.
Y'all on here deep.
I told y'all this, man. I
We
say
don't
this
been on
to
for like
people.
3. We don't been on for what 3 and 36. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
man.
almost shit. Be going on 4. I ain't gonna stay on too long because I know we got things to do and things. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
man. I ain't even eat. I
it's
ain't even
phone
eat
heavy,
having
bro.
deep conversation with y'all brothers, man.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go ahead.
man.
I'm gonna go on and shut it down though. You know. So
Hell yeah.
and probably just come back on later on tonight sometime, you know, in a few more hours. And man, but it's been a ball though. Yeah, something was wrong with his phone. He probably got a call or something like that. But I enjoyed y'all for real, man. You see me, I've just been sitting here just soaking it up. I come in every now and then, but I was mostly listening, man. I'm like, man. I
Man,
told
we
you I was
had deep,
bringing my pen and paper
intricate
anyway.
conversations with each other. You know what I'm saying? And all the people out there listening, you know what I'm saying? They know that everything we speak is facts, and that there is a higher self. You know what I'm saying? We gods and goddesses on this planet, and that's where we're trying to get back to being our higher selves. So just by having conversations like this and raising
Man,
vibrations like
right.
this, maybe we could reach that. You know, together instead of individually. The problem is we reach it individually. Let's reach that level together, God.
All the time.
Solid.
That's love.
All the
I
time.
get what you.
That's love. Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
though.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
My
sir.
pleasure, brothers. My
Much
pleasure.
love. Yeah, we're gonna get ready and get up off of here though. You know what I'm saying? I see you came back on science and things, but shit, I'm gonna go ahead and end it so we can go ahead and put some hours in front of us. You know, we've been on here for what? Almost 4 hours now. So, you know, we enjoyed everybody who tuned in to the show. man, to my special guest, you know what I'm saying, Chuck Doc Kane, you know what I'm saying, and Science, much love to you brothers, man. We're going to try to get back on here later on and stuff and see what we can do, change the subject. Let's talk about something else, maybe relationship, you know what I'm saying. It seemed like that was finna turn out to be the conversation anyway, so next time we come on here, we'll be getting into some relationship type things, you know what I'm saying, man and woman, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining in, and you know my old saying, to be aware is to be alive, watch your surroundings, and make sure you look out for them kids, man. Make sure you get them kids out the streets. In a minute, food for thought, everybody.
Since the beat still going, rock lit, I'm blowing dollar checks, I'm coming all the time, I'm scoring. Laid back compatible, switching up the audibles, not in front of clown niggas like it's full lateral. Some stuck with me, but the other ones left. Those was the low life, the other ones just. Long live my hood, yes I came from that place, from the old special stone, we call it double A. You might see me on the tube, you might see me on the street, but I made it in the lab, making beat, I beat the blocks, I beat the rocks, I beat the cash, I beat that ass, I beat the finish, got you lacking in the past. I did the dash, I did it by myself. I did the product, and I didn't need no help. I did the ups, I beat the down, I beat the roads, heading to a new town. The shit got hard, I beat the odds, I beat the family. Now we all apart. Now I'm in the lab, looking for the star. I'm on the grind, can't waste no time. I'm CEO, yes I'm down for mine. I beat the drums, I beat the streets, forever yours. I beat the beats.